our discussions this evening. We thank you for the work of our staff in preparing our financial budget planning for the Archer community and ask that our decisions continue to bring financial stability and recovery for our community. Dear God, we ask you to continue your intervention and the guidance you provide for our world leaders and their challenges both in the financial world and their quest for peace among all of its warring nations. We ask you to keep our men and women in uniform and all our first responders safe throughout the nation and the world, who protect and defend our freedoms and provide for our safety, health, and well-being every day. For this, dear God, we give thanks. Dear Lord, may we remember that sometimes things in life happen to allow us to understand our priorities very clearly. You know exactly what it is to deal with people, demands, and responsibilities. Teach us how to stay focused on you while we give our attention to one thing at a time. You, O Lord, are already there waiting for us with our answer. And as it is written in your word in Proverbs chapter 21, verse 5, the plans of the diligent lead to profit as haste leads to poverty. It is in your holy name we pray these things. Amen.
Amen.
Call this meeting to order at 6:02 with our Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Be seated. Madam Alltop, are there any additions or deletions to the agenda this evening for our special City Commission meeting?
No, sir.
Okay. Any additions or deletions from the dais?
I don't know if I don't think we have it in here, do we? I think the principal from Archer School reached out to us.
I thought that was for August.
No, I think she would say she would be here tonight, that the principal of Newberry would be here to
Hi,
introduce herself
welcome,
to us.
welcome.
I was going to wait for public comment.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion for the adoption of the agenda. I'm sorry, before we have that, we do have Commissioner White, who is under the weather and will be attending virtually, just observing the meeting, but won't be here this evening. Do I hear a motion to excuse her absence?
So moved.
I have a motion from
I
Vice
second.
Mayor. I have a second from Commissioner Green. Any further discussion? Any comments from the constituency in the audience? Hearing none, all those in favor of excusing Commissioner White, say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Nays, like sign. Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you all. First order is our first comment period.
Adoption of.
Oh, I'm sorry, the adoption of the agenda. Do I hear a motion?
So
We have-
moved.
Okay, I have a motion from Vice Mayor. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second from Commissioner Penny. Any discussion or comments from the dais regarding our adoption of the agenda this evening?
No.
Hearing none, do I have any comments from the constituents in the audience regarding the purpose and agenda of the special call meeting tonight? Hearing none, all those in favor of the adoption of the agenda say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Nays, like sign. Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. Now it's comment period. First comment period. Anyone like to come forward regarding comments of any type? Yes, ma'am. Welcome.
As mentioned, my name is Jill Ashley. I'm proud to serve as the principal of Newberry High School, which houses most of your students, I imagine. But I wanted to share some updates of what we've got coming, what we've had going on so far, and as we look forward to the new school year starting soon. This summer, we've had sidewalks installed along Southwest 258th Street, so our students will have a safer walking route. This will especially impact our baseball, softball students, students that are walking towards their parking lot. We've also revitalized our media center with new carpeting, refreshing a space that is literally and metaphorically the heart of our school. Additionally, we're in the planning stages of a much-needed improvement to our softball field ahead of the upcoming season. Although the school year hasn't officially started, our campus has been full of life already this summer. Students have been engaged in athletic open gyms, band practices, which I just left school a few minutes ago and they were busy at it, and also academic programs that have been meeting through the summer. On Monday, our teachers are going to return to begin preparing for the new school year. On Thursday, August 7th at 9 a.m., we're going to host our new student orientation primarily for our incoming 9th graders. Criminal justice magnet students will be leading campus tours, and our new Panthers will get a chance to meet the faculty and staff. We'd like to invite the entire community to join us on Friday, August 8th at 5 p.m. for our annual volleyball blue and gold game. The evening wraps up with a pep rally hosted by the Quarterback Club, celebrating both of our football and volleyball teams. It's a perfect way to close out the summer as we get ready to welcome all of our Panthers back on Monday, August 11th for the first day of school. Thank you for your continued support of Newberry High School, and we are proud to be a part of a strong, connected community. So, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Could you tell us what time that starts on the quarterback club celebration?
So the
Is that-
volleyball game is on Friday the 8th at 5 o'clock.
Okay,
The estimated time for that pep rally will be about 6:30. It'll be after the game.
after the game. Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Principal Ashley, thank you very much for keeping us updated.
And welcome to Panther Country.
I keep being told, once a Panther, always a Panther.
Always a Panther, always.
Anyone else for comments this evening?
Hello, good evening, Gene Arnold. I know we're gonna have two of these, so there's a lot to, and I'm assuming Dallas is gonna go through this line by line, I hope, because most of it doesn't make sense.
That's in our workshop, which follows this
I
one
understand, it's just
agenda
public
item.
comment,
Yes,
so you only get 3 minutes in the workshop, so you get 3 minutes now.
sir. No, there's full discussion in the workshop.
Oh, there is?
It will be
Okay.
this evening, yes, sir.
Oh, wonderful, all right. Good to hear. With that said, the first budget public hearing on Monday, September 8th, and then the second one's on Monday, September 22nd. I mention that because Mondays, typically, I just don't want to see a conflict with, you guys typically in Newberry have Mondays, so I think it's important that Mr. Lee attend both of those, so I don't know if those dates have been, no conflict?
The county has theirs, so we can't have it on the 23rd. So it has to be the 22nd.
Okay, we can.
You can't overlap with the county or the school board.
Okay, on Monday, the September 8th, we can't do it on the 9th. I just don't know if it's
No,
a
you have
conflict.
to have a date separation. You can't do it. There's a certain way you have to do trim, so those dates are already how they're entered in. If
Okay.
that's what you're asking.
Yeah, I just didn't want a situation where Mr. Lee could not attend a budget because he was doing something in Newberry, was my reason for asking,
Okay.
so.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am, Ms. Costello.
Sorry, back here looking at numbers. I was looking at this here on my phone earlier, and it was really hard to follow on my phone. So I know that this meeting is about adopting the millage rate, but we don't have a full budget yet. And like we said at the last meeting, you know, we got to have numbers. And this is really only half of our budget. I mean, it's not like we have, you know, the general fund is our main part, and then we got, you know, water and maybe something else and something else. You know, pretty much water's, you know, like half of our, not half, maybe a third, you know. So I know that you have to pass it by such and such date, but maybe you can work it out where we can get numbers before you do that.
We may have a third workshop.
Okay. Well, you'll have to have a budget third workshop because, oh my God, there's so many numbers missing on here.
Okay,
It's crazy. And then we don't have nothing in the water, but,
okay.
did we already have, oh, we had a workshop with no numbers? Is that, no, we didn't have a workshop yet, did we?
Yes, ma'am. We've had one. This is our second one.
Oh, okay, thank you.
That's why I said we may have a third, which is not always customary. Yes, ma'am. Good evening, Ms. Lopez.
Good evening, Roberta Lopez. I just have a question about code enforcement. When we can transfer a property, like if you remember Miss Bradshaw in California, I believe that year has been up for quite some time where the city can take over the property if they need to. What does it cost to transfer property like that? You know, is it a big task to do that when you?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not familiar with the exact example that you're giving, so it's difficult
Well,
for me to
anyway,
answer.
there's a house behind Alice Kelsey's home. It's a new home on 176, and some people used to live in there, of course. And you know, they got behind them, but cleaning it up or whatever. And the city, it went before the court, and Mr. Hammond told me the year was about up, and that the city could take over this property. But what happened after the storms, all these big trees fell on that old trailer, and then there's a shed in the back, and it is really bad situation because it's so close to Alice's home, it could cause some damage. So I think it's time for the city now to consider going ahead and taking that over. And I have pictures of that, which is, you wouldn't believe it. You can't even see the place anymore. And it's an old trailer and an old shed. So what do we do about that? I mean, do we continue to just let it sit there and it's in my neighborhood and other people's neighborhoods and it's dangerous? So what should we do?
You have a code enforcement process that we can look into that issue.
Well, it went through all the codes. If I'm not mistaken, the magistrate, is that what he's called? Yeah. I think, where are we on that, Deanna? You may know.
With this case, I'll have to look. I actually don't remember at the moment.
Okay,
I remember it, I just don't know where we're at on it.
But you know where I'm talking about,
Yes,
on
I do.
176.
I do.
That is a serious
Okay.
code problem.
Thank you.
Right
We'll
there.
review that. Thank you, Ms. Lopez. Anyone else? Okay. Our old business is resolution number 2025-22, determining the proposed millage rate. Madam Attorney.
Give me just 1 second. I clicked off to get onto our
I'm
codes
sorry.
and
Just trying to be timely. What a concept.
this is resolution 2025-22, a resolution determining the proposed millage rate, the current year rolled back rate, and the date, time, and place for the first and second public budget hearings as required by law, authorizing the interim city manager to change budget hearing dates if necessary, directing the interim city manager to file said resolutions with the property appraiser pursuant to requirements of Florida statutes and the rules and regulations of the Department of Revenue of the state of Florida, providing an effective date. This is the same resolution that you had with the edits. Instead of preliminary budget, it's draft budget, and then the therefore clause was amended, so the remainder is the same.
Okay. All right, for the sake of discussion, do I have a motion to consider?
So moved.
I have a motion from Vice Mayor. Do I have a second? I have a second from Commissioner Green. All right, any questions or discussion from the dais regarding resolution number 2025-22?
No.
No? No? Commissioner Green? Just for record, Deanna, what is our current, Ms. Altop, what is our current millage rate for this year?
5.5479.
5479?
5.5479.
5479, okay. And this will increase it to 6.4322. Okay. And this will take into consideration our decision about the MSTU for the next fiscal year.
No, not quite.
No,
think
your MSTU will be next budget. This
Next
budget
fiscal
is not.
26.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Any other questions, comments from the dais? Hearing none, those from the constituency? Yes, ma'am, Ms. Brewer, welcome.
Good afternoon, Karen Fiore. So I said this last meeting. I understand you have the timeline. You've had the timeline forever. I mean, the laws haven't changed, but yet we come down to the last minute constantly with Archer. And now you're going to adopt the max millage, which that's a lot for any municipality. Max millage is scary to the citizens. And you're gonna adopt this before you have any discussion on the budget tonight. So you're doing this first, which I said last meeting. This seems very out of order, and disappointing because you're not getting down into the meat of your numbers. And citizens have dug into these numbers, and you have poor Dallas who doesn't have the history, so he's only working with what he was provided, which are not complete numbers. So, but you're gonna adopt the max millage tonight, and I know you can go down, you can't go back, obviously no further increase, but it's just disappointing. I would have liked to have seen you as a group dig into the numbers, then have a normal time frame to adopt your max millage. Thanks.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Costello.
I guess this will be the proper place instead of before. I apologize, but I still would like to see a full budget before that's passed, period. A full budget with numbers up for discussion before we passed the millage rate on the taxes on the citizens. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Costello. Welcome, Mr. Lewandowski. Yes, sir. Hello.
So Bill Lewandowski, citizen. So I have the same concerns everybody else has in regards to the budget. In particular, you're basing on some assumptions. You don't even, as far as I know, you haven't even audited last year, right? That audit hasn't even started yet, or has it started?
It will start beginning soon.
Okay.
And
So
presented September 15th.
So there's lots of assumptions here, not a lot of data. So it's kind of, I mean, I just can't see how you can possibly make a decision based upon all these assumptions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello again. I think the city needs to raise money. They need, the budget is, they need income. And there's very few ways of generating income in this city other than the taxes. And I understand what Mr. Fiore is saying, that yes, it would be great to see a budget and understand a budget, but we pretty much know just from what we've been handed, the budget's going to be very similar to last year, with hopefully some tweaks and the categories cleaned up. But yet, it's not like we're going from a $1 million budget to a $4 million budget, or a $1 million budget to a $500,000 budget necessarily. I don't think it's going to have that dramatic of a difference. However, and I know we're not probably going to talk about the, whatever that acronym is, MTSU with the police department, but I think Mr. Lee could speak to it, I think he already has, that has worked very well for Alachua. And it was, even as much as I like Sheriff Scott, when he was here and his different sheriffs did a fine job, when he was asked the question, what do we get for that money? He couldn't answer it. I'll have to get back to you. He didn't know. He should know, because that's a big chunk of change going to him. So that's something that you're kind of moving the percentages around, and it sounds to me, from what I understand, is you can always reduce this, or you don't have to charge it, but you're at least raising the ceiling now to where you have that if you need to, otherwise you bring it down. And that can be done. So if I'm understanding that correctly, I'm all for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'll say, I did talk with the sheriff, and one of the reasons he doesn't know is because the MSTU goes to the county, and the county gives them a certain percentage. But he did give me the information for whom to speak with. She didn't return my call, so Dallas told me another person that's better to speak with at the county. So I'm gonna be reaching out to her to find out. But yeah, so the cities that pay into the MSTU, they pay it to the county. The county distributes the money to the other places. So
You
yeah,
see that being a problem.
I do, but I can't control
Whereas
it.
Newberry gets that money and they contract directly with the sheriff. So they take the county out of the situation.
But that has nothing to do with this year, right?
Right.
Okay, that's next year's issue.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's forecasting continued recovery, so,
Too late for this year.
You're right.
yeah. Anyone else? Okay. Let's go to a vote. All those in favor of resolution number 2025-22, setting the millage at the 6.4322 mils, say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. Nays, like sign. Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. Last is the second comment period regarding anything that's been forgotten or determined. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Lopez.
Roberto Lopez, I'm going back to the codes. I spoke to Ms. Kelsey one day, and she said, the reason I asked that question, and of course it's in the budget codes enforcement, how much it would cost, is $1,200 here. And she told me, she said, you know, I have relatives who, they do landscaping or something like that. She said if the city would donate that piece, which is like 0.015 acres, it's so tiny in the back, she said she would clean it. Because it would take a lot of money for the city, even if they take it over, to get that in the back really cleaned up. So you may wanna, I don't know if you want her to come to the meetings and talk about it, or if I can tell her to come and talk to you, Deanna, about it, or what. But it's the reason I was asking about the cost is because you have $1,200 here and for code enforcement. So if you're planning, if it costs a lot to tear up that property and get it away because it's past time, I don't know. What you think?
Well, I think the 1,200 in the budget is for all the letters and stuff that we have to send out.
Right.
As far as I know, that's
But
what
if
it's,
you
that's
have
why
to,
it's only
but if you
1,200.
have to go in and clean up that piece of property, because I think it's already at its max with the gentleman who was coming in, the magistrate or whatever.
Right.
Because Mr. Hammond told me so. So I think we need to pick this up right away and take care of it, because it is, I'm sure she's trying to clean up around there now because she's having snakes at her place.
Right.
We can speak to that at the August meeting, once we review everything, Ms. Lopez, thank you. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Costello.
I have a lot of questions on this budget. There's things that don't even make sense, and there's no notations on this whatsoever. And there's numbers that, like, there could be, like, let me just give you an example, okay, just a quick example. I mean, there's for anybody to read it, for it to make even a little bit of sense, there should be notations all over on this budget. Why is this so much slower? Because we plan on cutting such and such. Like I said, there should be notations like crazy on this here. Most of these things, you just look at it and just like, you scratch your head, and it doesn't even make any sense whatsoever. I did have an example here, but I find that example, but I wanted to get an update on the grader and the dump truck. Have we sold that yet? You know, we should have kept the second meeting for finance because the citizens have the right to know about how our finances are, but we really haven't been updated on anything since you all took that second meeting away. And just 3 minutes or 6 minutes just is really not enough. And, you know, a lot of questions go unanswered. So, Deanna, could you give me an update on that? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, could you give me an update on that? I apologize.
We can note that and discuss that further in the workshop. And any other questions regarding what you're looking at in a preliminary
Well, did you
budget
want me to
review?
give the example during the workshop of?
That's the purpose in the workshop.
Oh,
is to
okay,
have
no
full
problem, no
disclosure
problem.
and discussion
And-
regarding specific items. Yes, ma'am.
What is this? From the tax guy about the non-exempt value for the city of Archer is, I think this is 57 million?
The tax guy, are you talking about, Ms. Solomon?
Yes.
We get that every year.
Oh, can you explain that to me? What does this mean?
Ms. Altop, could you explain that to her, please? What you
Yes, it had-
receive is the basis.
Yeah, it had to be included with the resolution. It's the last paragraph or last whereas.
We receive that
No,
every
it's
year.
not. It's in here somewhere. But, yeah, it's just letting us know that, our estimated non-exempt value is at 57,500,000 and new construction's at 214,000. But I believe it's a little bit higher, but just something they have to send every year to us so we can plan.
Okay, is that like all our buildings for the 57? Is that what that means?
I believe it's all the homes and everything.
Oh, all the homes, okay.
believe
That
it's
has
the whole
nothing to
prop-
do with the city of Archer owns, but.
Thank you, Dallas. Could you allude and share?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. Dallas Lee. The letter that Ms. Costello has is, as your manager mentioned, required to be sent by the property appraiser every year. It is the total taxable value of the city. So you use that to determine what your property tax generation rate's going to be. They have to provide that to you by, I believe, June 1st, and then by the end of the June, they provide to you your certified taxable values through your trim process, which we received back in June 30th.
Thank you. It follows our May determination normally for the millage.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Anyone else? Okay, that will close this meeting and adjourn at 6:28, and we'll follow with our workshop.
You said at 6:30.
6:30, okay, so we'll take a brief break for 2 minutes if anyone needs to use the restroom, and then we'll begin our workshop. No, not at all.
Communication.
Yeah, could he use Joan, Commissioner White's?
Figure out what's getting up and down.
Yeah, it'd be a lot easier.
Presumptuous.
Thank you, Commissioner White Pro Tem. Only for Amazon. Thank you. Drive safe.
Yeah, she's here.
Do y'all have a list of all the churches?
Say that again?
Do you have a list of all the churches?
Yes.
I was assuming it's correct.
Yeah, I've even seen the crows hassling. I mean, the big crows that are all around, and they're on the wire. I mean, they don't even squawk, they just, they're so high. I've never felt sorry for those crows, but I feel sorry for them. Okay, we'll go ahead and begin our workshop. I would think, Dallas, could you just kind of lead us out with just the format and what we're looking at, and then we can start with our question answers or whatever, so if that's possible.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor.
Yep.
So I'll start with that, you guys know your budget and your community 10,000 times better than I do, so I want to make sure if you have any comments, information, please let me know. Happy to plug it in. I've got the spreadsheet up here.
Okay.
So we can make changes in real time. I basically went off of some of the data that I had requested from Deanne and her team, what they had available to provide me, and then just did my best to project based off of where you are year-to-date fiscal year 2025 and where you ended in fiscal year 2024, acknowledging that 2024 has yet to been audited, and obviously 2025 you're in the middle of. I did only have a chance to work on your general fund. I got some of your water information the other day. I did remove your infrastructure and wild spaces dollars from your general fund to a special revenue fund to keep those accounted for. The state has only released a couple of their state estimates so far. So I used what they had released and then your year-to-date actuals from the state's revenue website to project your state revenues. And aside from that, I just kind of took my best shot at it. So I'm happy to discuss anything, and if you want to start at the top and work our way down, or however the commission wants to proceed.
Well, just so that we kind of, if I can just answer the question about the one enterprise fund, the water fund, do you feel that you could, in 2 weeks or less, have that information tabulated so that we could have a brief, I mean, I would really like us to meet again in a third workshop so we have the complete budget. I think we're not finished if we, I concur with that.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. Yesterday, Tangi and Justin got me the information I was looking for, so I should be able to put something together for you this weekend and give it to Deanna
Not
on
rushing
Monday.
you, but I think then we'd have the complete snapshot of that. I know that you guys at the dais don't want to have to meet again, but I think it's healthy for us to look at the complete budget. And we can talk about that at the end of the workshop and try to coordinate that, but that would be helpful.
On that point, Mr. Mayor, to Mr. Arnold's point, our Newberry's budget hearings are the same night as yours, so
Okay.
I will not be in attendance for your currently planned budget hearings.
We'll record all the questions. Okay.
Okay, so did we choose other dates already? Because I thought we had only chosen, did we choose
Yeah,
I mean,
you're talking about
I
the
mean-
8th and the 22nd dates?
whatever the dates are since?
Are those dates certain
Because I
now?
thought we only,
Yeah, I didn't think we had chosen anything, because the last time we spoke to him, it was for tonight, and he said,
that's what I thought.
And that's why it's Tuesday instead of
he
Monday.
said he could come. That's why we changed it, I'm
To
sorry.
Tuesday.
Yeah, that's why we didn't have it last night, because he couldn't be here. So I'm kind of with Mr. Arnold too. I like him to be here. So if there's no other date, even
Well-
though it may not be on a Monday.
I would like for him to be here too, but in addition to that, we need to decide what these dates are gonna be, because we need to be here as well.
Right,
So,
that's
I mean, I don't know where those dates come from if we didn't sit here and look at our calendars and make sure we could do it. That's all I'm saying.
The first date is your regularly scheduled commission meeting.
Okay, the 11th?
It should be,
Okay, the 11th is our meeting, but that's not
In
a
September.
budget date.
September 8th
8th,
is our regular meeting.
because
I
the
thought
first
you
is
said
a
it was the-
Monday.
September 8th.
Yeah, the first is a Monday, and then the second Monday is the 8th.
September, I'm on the wrong month.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Okay, September, okay.
I mean, if we want to change the commission meeting to Tuesday, other than that, we're gonna have meetings back to back, if that's what you're asking.
No.
His is on Monday.
Oh, yes,
you'd have to move it to Wednesday.
so you'll have to, yeah, so that's
I
that's where.
missed whatever you just said.
I'm sorry. As Deanna was mentioning earlier, state statute says you cannot hold your budget hearing at the same time as another taxing authority. So the county has their budget hearings on
Only
Tuesday.
Tuesday, okay.
I believe the school board would already be done, but you need to verify that. So maybe Wednesday or Thursday would be a better option. And I believe I'm free Wednesday and Thursday both those weeks.
Yeah, okay.
So that would be,
So I do need to know, because I have to update.
so that would be Wednesday the 10th, and then we would move the 22nd to the 24th for the second hearing. It'd be the 10th and the 24th. Sorry to make you redo, but
No, it's no big deal, because I have to.
flexibility is what we're
put it
into at
in.
this point. Yes, ma'am. Ms.
It
Fielder.
is kind of a big deal because you just adopted your max millage with your dates, and that's a requirement in your trim package. So you're gonna have to go through another adoption of that resolution.
The resolution allows the city manager to move the dates if needed.
That's true, thank you.
So is everyone in consensus?
September 10th.
10th,
September 10th and September 24th.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, so just so I'm clear,
For budget
September
dates?
10th is just doing our budget, or we're moving our commission meeting to the 10th?
We're
I
moving-
thought we were talking about
That
the,
would be the first
What?
reading, and it was an agenda item for that regular commission meeting on the
wait.
The regular one's normally on the 8th, so are we gonna do the regular meeting on the 8th and then just adopt the budget and millage on the 10th?
That's
Do you
what I
wanna
was
have
thinking.
two meetings that week or
In
just the
1 week,
one?
yeah, is what I'm
I would
asking.
think move the whole meeting
Okay, I'm just
to
double
the
checking,
10th, so
so.
it's not exhausting
And-
citizenry and us and everything else to have, I mean, not that we mind having multiple meetings, but it
Oh,
would,
no, I'm all for.
Okay, so we, if we do one, we'll be combining the two on the 10th. And that's,
Our regular meeting, because it would
Right.
be on the regular meeting anyways.
it was gonna be on
Okay.
the regular meeting
Okay.
anyway on Monday, but this allows for full, opportunity for Dallas to be here and participate and earmark questions and things like that. So it'd be Wednesday the 10th with our
All
regular
right,
meeting.
I'm good with the 10th. Are you guys good with September 10th?
That's church night.
It is church night, but
You sure? Okay.
That's fine.
So Wednesday the 10th for our regular scheduled commission meeting and the first reading, and then the 24th, Wednesday, again.
and that's just budget or,
That would be just a special meeting for the budget.
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Okay, so doing the one on the 21st, okay, so we could not have that Tuesday of that week either, right? That's the,
Correct, their county always has their meetings the
Okay.
next day.
And so you all have one on the 22nd in Newberry?
Yes, yeah. Our meetings are the same night as yours.
I have a conference that week.
Which would the week of the 20th?
First night.
On the
It'll be at
24th.
6 o'clock. I mean, since this is at 6.
I don't anticipate the Wednesday, the
You mean on the
24th, to
24th?
be a long meeting.
Probably won't be too long.
Right.
That's fine.
I mean, it could be, but once we're to the 24th, that's like the final second hearing, and we've corrected anything from, I'm not trying to force you on it, but I don't think that will be a belabored meeting that night, so.
We'll keep in mind that you may have a conflict. Hopefully everybody else will be able to be here.
Okay.
Commissioner Penny, you're okay with the 2 dates?
I don't have a life. Nothing on my calendar.
Well, we'll set up a table at the health fair, so those people like yourself that don't have a life.
I greatly appreciate you guys twisting yourselves into a pretzel to accommodate my
No,
schedule.
I just, thank you, Mr. Arnold, for your input. Anything's possible with the city of Archer in 2025. Yeah, moving forward, so, except a train crash, so. Okay, so we've solved that, thank you. While we're talking about dates, though, I know you all don't like me talking about a third workshop, but if we know that Dallas will have the enterprise fund completed with the information you have, we will have the auditors probably in here, Deanna, by the 15th of August and working for that
They'll be here August 12th.
12.
Yep.
So they're gonna be here a couple weeks or whatever, and
They sure are.
I know that taxes the staff with information they need. Well, could we set a third workshop for August? To have the completed enterprise water fund prepared and added with this full.
So next week is it gonna, the next 2 weeks are gonna be busy.
I know it for you it will be, but
So
Next week.
I'm gonna say, the week of the 18th or the 25th might be better.
are those Mondays or?
Those are Mondays. I'm saying, look at the calendar for those weeks, the 18th and the 25th of
And those are
August.
Monday dates that you're
Yes, those are
calling out.
Monday dates.
So, Dallas, to have you participate, it should be a Tuesday? I mean, perfect world or whatever, to have your presence?
19th.
Yes,
26th.
Mr. Mayor, I have a commission meeting on the 18th, and then Newberry has a budget workshop on the Wednesday, so
The 20th.
on the 20th.
So
So the
we talk
19th
about
would
the
be the,
19th or the 26th. Those Tuesday, that would be,
19 or
that would be
26.
Tuesdays coming up.
Yeah.
He's looking at his calendar.
This is for our third budget workshop that will allow us to. look
I
at
have
the-
Newberry has a budget, not a budget workshop, another workshop on the 26th.
Okay.
What about 21st?
That's a Thursday.
Or the 28th, because we have meetings.
The 28th is
The
a,
18th and the 9th, the 18th and the 20th, and then I'll be bringing them back. So,
I could do either of those Thursdays,
21
the
or
21st or the 28th.
which one you prefer?
I would say the 21st, that gives us more time to make any adjustments before the budget.
Based on what we're looking at tonight and have a more completed picture. Okay. So that's Tuesday the 19th, is that? what-
No, Thursday, August 21st.
I mean, sorry,
It's okay.
August 23rd,
21st, 21.
Thursday for the workshop, for the third workshop.
Yeah.
6 PM here,
Yeah.
and that works for you, Dallas, as well?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. So our third workshop that will provide any discussions from this evening and adjustments as well as the water fund. So we have a full budget review will be Thursday, August 23rd,
21st.
21st, 21. Okay, so be it. Okay, we solved those issues. All right, are there questions regarding the format of the budget in front of us, what we have of the budget? From anyone from the dais?
Not the format, no.
No, it's, yeah, something we haven't had to look at in a
Yeah,
while.
I mean, it's not questions regarding it, I see it.
I'm gonna ask stupid questions, Dallas. The first, put it on my chest right here. The first line item with the green bar is the budget for what?
That would be my proposed 2026 budget, I guess
That's your what?
that's the proposed 2026 budget.
26,
I
okay.
accidentally deleted my title there.
That's okay. I just assumed that, but I wanted to know that, so. Second stupid question from the mayor? I know that, that's what my mother always said.
But that's not true.
Do we have yeah, there's stupid questions. I know, Dean. Do we have any chart of account line item that shows the debt service payment back to Ameris Bank in this budget that's presented tonight?
No, sir, Mr. Mayor, that would come out of your water fund.
So that's why it's not listed.
So there was not listed. My original proposal did have a surplus in your general fund that I had anticipated using to pay back your Wild Spaces debt. However, once Deanna reviewed it, she found a couple of issues that we needed to correct, which reduced your surplus.
Okay.
So I guess I'm saying I'm blaming Deanna, but no.
It's all her fault. That's okay. We have big shoulders. So we'll probably anticipate seeing that as a line item in the water fund?
Correct.
As well as the Wild Spaces payment?
Well, the Wild Spaces payment would need to come out of your general fund. Your general fund doesn't currently have surplus revenue to make that payment back. So I would need direction as to what you would want to cut out of your budget to generate that surplus.
Which currently we're paying estimated monthly to that back. 20,000, or, I'm sorry.
Oh, currently we haven't paid anything back. You're talking about the 200,000 we owe? Yet nothing's been repaid towards ourselves yet.
But off the top of my head, I believe it's 206, but that was as of 2023. So once your auditors finish their 2024 audit, you'll have the most up-to-date numbers as to what you would owe yourselves back.
So that could be a chart of account line item in the water fund to be transferred to the general fund to be distributed? As we've transferred before in our budget process, or no?
Not to pretend to be your city attorney, but from a legal aspect, if your water fund is generating revenue, you can transfer that revenue to the general fund to transfer back. However, your water fund has historically not generated profit.
Correct.
I would also say that your line of credit that you owe to Ameris Bank is a water/wastewater system
Correct.
loan. So you should prioritize your water wastewater revenues to pay back the water wastewater loan,
Which is Ameris Bank.
which is Ameris. And then use your general fund to pay back your Wild Spaces. Your general fund is where the Wild Spaces money was misused, so your general fund should pay it back.
Deanna, and again, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but do you have any idea where those funds could be gathered to be able to make that Wild Spaces payment from reducing anything that's presented here this evening?
How much Were you talking about a month?
I know you're looking to us
Currently,
for how much, but we need to know how much we can based on what we're gonna have to reduce here. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
at the moment, we don't have any surplus.
I mean,
That's
you've been,
the-
the payments back to the Wild Spaces. If it was over a period of 3 years, I don't have a quick
Right.
calculation, but it's what,
so it's-
200 divided by,
If you had been making a
36
payment every month, it'd be about $5,700 a month. I will remind the commission, you are 1 year into your repayment, or maybe 9 months into your repayment already with the county.
that 5,700 would be over the 3-year period. That was our
Correct.
commitment.
Correct. Mr. Mayor, if I may suggest, it may be a good idea to work through the budget numbers, to discuss everything, and I can make changes based off of your comments, off of your residents' comments,
Okay.
and then we can see if there's what the net number is at the end.
Because right now, that would be 68,000 and some change a year, looking for what we need to cut to be able to enter that chart of accounts for that payment. That makes sense what I just said? So we're looking for 68,000 in this total budget as it is right now.
May I ask this one question?
Yes, sir, Lewandowski, sure. This is a workshop.
I understand that this sheet, this is the administrative question. So I understand where we have the green on ours, that is the proposed budget. And we're on the yellow where it says October under FY 2025, that first column, October 24 to September 25.
It's year to date.
That's year-to-date actuals.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I should have,
It was through June 30th.
Okay, so that's not true. Your revenues are definitely not through June 30th.
I used, because there are definitely revenues not posted here. So for the state revenues, I used the revenue confirmations from the
Yeah, I
state.
saw that you did, but it's a good point to make that these revenues that you're seeing for actuals are only through January. Only January. So we're at the last day pretty much of July and you're only seeing revenues through January. I don't know what your expenditures are, so that was gonna be one of my questions. Are these actuals expenditures through June? Or are they only through January?
do you know, Deanna?
I mean, we're putting everything in as we go, so if there's stuff missing, then we'll have to go back through it.
But it wouldn't be missing from January to June.
No, they're all put in, all
They're-
the bills are being put in there, yes. I mean,
So
we're
your
glad missed
actuals
some.
are, for expenditures are through June, but revenues are only through January, but we're doing everything in. I mean, I guess if you would know if you have, like, what month have you reconciled in 25 is probably be the best answer.
October. So that's, yeah. We've only made it 1 month into that year, or into this current year.
So we've only reconciled for 25, 1 month, October. So we're missing November through June,
For reconciling, yes.
which would be the accurate revenue and expenses.
The expenses are probably more accurate than the revenues because to write a check, they have to put it into your QuickBooks system. So I would anticipate those are, unless there's bills that just haven't been paid, those are probably more accurate than your revenues are. But there are definitely revenues that are missing from being posted.
So by the third workshop, will we have the total revenues through the month of June? Do we anticipate?
I'll try. I mean, he's on vacation in the audit. I'm trying to upload everything myself, so I'm doing the
And
best
again,
I
I'm not
can.
trying to push the train off the track, but it
Right.
just, you see what we're trying to do and we don't as Ms. Fiore is stating, and we're all stating, we
Right.
don't have full revenue disclosure, so.
Well, Dallas did a good job on his revenues, like he said, he went to the state to get the numbers. I'm just making a point that I don't know what in the expenditures are accurate to do like a comparison, is what I was trying to get at.
But if you're posting as you pay, then the expenses are pretty much probably through June 30th, you think, in this document? Dallas, could you just review that and just, I'm not trying to put it on you, to ensure that is the case, and so that Ms. Althoff knows with Justin, because Justin's not here, right? So when does he come back, do you know? I'm sorry,
August 11th.
11th.
And he said this vacation plan for like
Right,
5 months.
no,
so
I
just
understand.
thought I could do.
How long a vacation was it?
His daughter was in the World Series softball in Alabama, and it was planned from the time that she was
So it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
10 days, wasn't it? 10 days. Okay, so if we could just earmark that as the things to do to make sure that we're looking for $68,000 and out of this. And hopefully have more revenue just post so that it would be more of an opportunity. Any other questions?
What memberships and subscriptions do we have? Because I see it a couple times. Do you, either of you remember?
As far as I know, we haven't renewed any of those, so we could probably take that completely out.
Okay.
Because all the fees and everything are not being paid for.
So, yeah.
Do you need
I-
to maintain your Florida League of Cities membership for your insurance?
As far as I know, no, because I told them we couldn't afford it, or the commission had said we weren't gonna do it.
And that's on page 3. Is that what you're looking at, Vice Mayor?
3 and 4.
Okay.
On 4 is toward the bottom, 513540.
2,500, so that's
Yeah.
3,500 opportunity to reduce that. Okay.
I know we talked about recreation before. And I don't want to lose it. But I'm looking at the numbers here. So how much of this is like from the donations or the parents? Do we know?
The revenue would be on the top part. So your total contributions for recreation have it $8,000. Be $5,000 in sponsorships and $3,000 in fundraising. Which is what your current year's budget is.
Yeah.
In 2024, you collected about $15,000 in recreation revenues.
Because I don't remember exactly what we said, but I thought we were gonna just try to get more donations so that we didn't have to,
Expense.
yeah. I thought that's what we said. That, and if that's $8,000, I'm just saying.
Sponsors was only 325 for 23.
Could you speak up? You don't have to come up and just speak up. I mean, we're a small group.
So on recreation sponsors, it was 325 for 23-24.
And that's
I
not-
know it was 1,700 for this current year. Of course, we're not done with this current year, but, you know, there's a large a large gap in there.
You also have. There's also, right below that 325 is that $4,700 in recreation contributions in 2024.
Can I ask a question? Are we allowed to just, because I don't want to interrupt your.
Yes, I am,
want to respect you, so.
if it's acceptable by consensus, this is a workshop.
Okay.
So it should be, I mean, as long as each person is talking one at a time.
So
if that-
do we know if that 10,000 that's sitting in there is truly Parks and Rec revenue, or if that's sitting in there incorrectly?
And what page are you?
So your 24 actual is 10,000. So Deanna, do you know what that was made out of?
What page?
Yeah, just,
Page 3 of 8.
if we could just refer to the page that we're looking at, then that helps us just expedite going to that point.
Page
Thank you.
339.
Because I have a concern about that, the $8,200, I think it's a little high, but I don't want to nitpick every single $1,000. But comparing it to 24 actuals, I really wonder if that 10,000 truly is. I know if, Joni's on the phone and anyone's texting her, she might know.
Yeah, I ran it, yeah, she has, okay.
So I'm just cautioning, comparing it to the 24 actuals is what I'm trying to say. Because I'm not sure if that is true.
Can I go ahead and, I wrote that down.
Yes, ma'am.
With Commissioner White. Me and her did discuss about that. We have they have surplus stuff down at Recreation that we were gonna go ahead and get surplus as well. That's coming for you guys. And then, I think that's what she's talking about, because we talked about that. So that's not, that piece isn't in the budget for Recreation anyways. And then I know the attorney's not here at the moment, but I know all the properties you guys surplus.
That's what I was about to bring up.
Right, we need to somehow, because remember the real detailed one you guys approved, the surplus has where you can use the realtor, gov deals, I forgot what other private, all those different ways we can do it. So I'll ask Kirsten Danielle if you guys have to decide, I believe, which way you want to go for those properties.
And
Because
again,
those are probably decent, hopefully a decent amount of money as well.
Yeah, I mean, because I hate to bring it up again, but you know, two things that have already come before this dais: letter writing, are you ready? Second appraisal, third appraisal, whatever, surveying specifics because of lift station and all that. But you've got the Bethlehem Presbyterian Church trustees that have already said we are interested in this abutting property. It was appraised at 19 or 21,000, so that's, I mean, it's pretty substantial as a surplus property for consideration. Even the cutout with the lift station, that was the latest bugaboo with that one. And then you've got the CSX abutment of the 3 or 4 parties, which is, the hope alone is $9,000 and something. And then you've got, sorry, Mr. Arnold appointed, but you've got the Arnold piece, if it's completed, that, you know, that's a square foot price. You've got Kirkland with a square foot price. You've got the Hoyt property with a square foot. It's substantial. I mean, it's another substantial revenue source of surplus properties that have already, the homework's already been done for that, other than, I mean, the Arnolds are a new voice, whether you want to consider that or not. It was Maddox in that and the consideration. Now it's the Arnolds, but you've still got Kirkland, you've got Hope, Hoyt, and Simpson with that, whatever it is, 95 cents a square foot or whatever. And then we also have, sorry, Ms. Green, I'm looking at you, we've got the Arch Historical Society that wanted a consideration for their piece that I understand from attorneys that was going to be broke out in a square foot appraisal be done on that. I have stakes, I don't, my wife has stakes in her yard, and she ran out there the day they were doing that and said, oh, it's finally happening because there's a stake with an orange tag on it. And we were told that is for the rails. That was rails to trails activity starting. So, Ms. Green, just for record, any of those stakes you might see over there on the depot side, I mean, you know, that's for the rails to trails. So it's like, why is that coming first when I'm being told that's 5 years out and we've got surplus properties that need to be, you know, not fussing, but it's just, there's an opportunity. And Dallas, I don't know what chart of account we need to set up for that, but that's going to come as a revenue source, based on the action of this dais. So.
I would be hesitant to budget that until you know for sure it has sold. You don't want to bank on revenue that is an unknown.
What the heck, it's only taken 8 years, so thus far, sorry, I'm being facetious, but how long is that? Deanna, you know what I'm talking about, so it's like,
Have we sold the grader and the dump?
those
Excuse
two.
me, Commissioner White asked if people could please come up. She can't hear them.
Okay, I'm sorry, because of Commissioner White, we do need to come to the podium to speak into the mic, I'm sorry.
Have we sold the dump truck and the grader?
That
We
was
have
what,
not, no ma'am.
No, it's on the site,
It is not
right?
on there yet, no.
No?
When I contacted GovDeals, they need some more information, like videos and stuff like that, so that's what we have to get to, so.
I mean, because the guys have been getting it ready since January.
Right. No, it's not them. I just have to do some more stuff.
Is this plugged in? Because I could pass it around, but is that, it's not one that you can pass around, is it? No.
I don't think so.
Okay, okay.
All right, so there's still
Respond to the
earmarked
rec-
opportunities there. I know you're cautioning us not to consider that, but that's certainly funding sources, even if it came 6 months into the budget year to be finished, it's something that could be,
And if 6 months into the budget year, you do sell that land, you could take that revenue and then pay your wild spaces back, make a payment. But I wouldn't want to bank on having that revenue and use it for your operations when you're not sure if you're going to get it or what sale price you're going to get for it.
So back to the recreation program, Joni wasn't able to answer if she knows what that 10,000 is. But I just wanted to make note, one of the things I have on mine. So if you just add up from page 7, on page 7 under recreation, starting with programming and just go down to concession on your budget for 26, your total there, and I'm not even considering your employee that does this program, is $10,250 for your expenditures. And then if you go back to your revenues and you add up those, we're actually in a deficit for 26 budget of $2,250. So when you're trying to do a very lean budget, I know you don't want to get rid of recreation, but you're not collecting enough revenues to sustain that program. And there's other things I think missing even under the expenditures. You have insurance, it's called like, forget what the name is, Babe Ruth Charter, Babe Ruth Insurance. I'm not sure if they're even included in here. You had a ton of SEW, what is the name of the company, your fall ball, your spring baseball, your staff uniforms, your banners. Again, your expenditures exceed, so I think that needs to be really tweaked to make sure that your program is at least
balanced, a balanced
yeah, at
expense.
least. And I'm not even including your employee there. I mean, I'm just looking at the programming.
Just talking about the banners and the sponsorships, I know that there's multiple tiers of the sponsorship, but the banner payment for a sponsor to pay for a banner is not the expense of that banner. That's just the donation, correct? I mean, that's the,
No, we have to still pay for the banner, yes.
yeah, I know
Oh,
it, but that
sorry.
expense for that banner is less than what we collect from that.
Yes,
That
yes.
sponsor that's paying $350 for a banner. That banner certainly doesn't cost $350.
No.
So where is that collection of the sponsors? What line item would that be? What chart of accounts is that? Is that where the contributions or the donations are coming from?
It should be the recreation sponsors.
Whether it's a banner, whether it's T-shirts and a team or whatever, that's where that amount is coming from. Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, starting on page number 1, and I know Ms. Fiore pointed out, and I think you guys said that the income is not anywhere close to being inputted. And I guess first question, is this in QuickBooks or Edmunds, or did you put this into an Excel file? What is this made through?
This was an export from QuickBooks into Excel.
Okay, are we using Edmunds yet, or are we still using QuickBooks?
We have to get everything into QuickBooks before we can transfer to Edmunds, so we're still on QuickBooks.
When you say you have to get everything in, everything
Like-
from a certain point to,
Right, well, probably all the way through now this fiscal year, we're gonna need to get everything entered. But once we can get everything reconciled and entered, then we can do the transfer again into Edmunds.
just because this annoys me, the whole Edmunds thing, was that a Tony Hammond driven deal where he, Cindy? It's what, okay. It was bad, obviously. I think we all know that. Looking at page number 1, somehow the ad valorem went from 296 to 358. That's more than a 20%. Is that correct? It just jumped up 20%?
That's with the new rate increase the commission just adopted.
Okay.
So that's the tax increase plus the increase in taxable value.
Wonderful. But then when I get to the first local option fuel tax, 9,000 versus 32. If we were through June, that clearly is wrong. So it's just not up to date, but you keep from 32 last year's budget to 31. Okay, and I'll just keep going down even though some of these don't make any sense. Discretionary sales tax, 26,000 this year was zero budget, it's zero next year. I guess that's
It's moved into I've removed it from the general fund into what we call a special revenue fund so that it's accounted for separately so it doesn't get misappropriated and mingled with the other funds.
Okay.
So when I come back at the next meeting, I'll have a separate budget that is just those two revenues so that they don't get accidentally spent on other things.
the actuals that are sitting in the 25 column yet?
I have not, no.
Okay, then I go to utility service tax water, where it's zero, but there was 12,000. There's that another thing where it should have been in a different column or a different fund?
I believe that that's just not been recorded. That is the tax the city levies on its own water utility that it's collecting every month. I believe it's just not been recorded.
Okay, because, yeah, so when I look at the zero and it's just the same number from last year's budget to this year, I just didn't know if that was a true. I think we all want to kind of get truer numbers so we're not just putting the same number in.
Especially if we've recovered and doing better with our water collection.
Sure. One that jumps out at me is the franchise fee electric, 11,000 versus 80. And again, I don't know if that just hasn't been updated or we're just not collecting as much money, if that's what that is. Solid waste is zero. The state revenue sharing proceeds is 19,000 instead of 64, but yet it's going to 67 now. So maybe that's just a product again of the local government half-cent sales tax, 25,000 versus 78, but now it's 73. So it's more and more. FDOT lighting agreement has zero, and the budget's 19, and this year it's 20. So I guess those things just haven't been added, or they come on the back end for how does that work?
I think I already mentioned she's only through October posting.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We've got to capture November through June 30th. So.
For the budgeting purposes for those state revenues, the state publishes all the revenues that have been sent to the city. So I use those numbers that the state has said have been sent to the city, not the numbers the city has recorded. So local half-cent sales tax, state revenue sharing, all those sorts of things. I use the state's numbers, not the city's numbers.
Okay. And like this year, we had planned on, I guess, Laurel Hill Cemetery selling $15,000 in cemetery plots, and we didn't sell any from so far, or at least it hadn't been recorded. But this coming year, we're going to sell 1,500. So the expectation has come down. Am I reading it correctly?
Yes.
I'd
Okay.
like to comment on that. So I think you're seeing an issue with, because you're only through October, you're missing revenues. I can't imagine that we're only gonna do 1,500. I think that's a line item that you probably need to bump up
For cemetery?
for, yeah. well,
Cemetery lot sales at $1,000 a pop.
Yeah, so why do we have 1,500 here, $1,000 a plot?
That's my recommendation. I think you should probably up that slightly.
You can't sell a half plot.
Well,
That was just me not knowing how much you sell your plots for.
In Laurel Hill.
but it sounds like Miss Lopez had gotten a grant and is gonna be doing some work to clean it up.
That's a different.
That's a different thing?
Yeah.
Okay, I apologize.
That's her cemetery.
In a lot of
Different
times,
cemetery.
the reason why you'll see large, sometimes people buy big old things for their family, and then some years we don't have any. That is, these are
Yeah, I can
pretty
imagine
much
it's
true. I mean, there should be revenue, I believe, but we'll check that.
probably very tough to
I
predict.
wouldn't put it too high, because like I said, if you don't get a family or a few people that want to come in.
Completely
you know,
understand.
Be out there.
Yep. All right, so revenue, as I keep going down, the rent, or the community center, we're in the negative? That's,
We always are negative.
I don't understand that, that's,
how can that be in,
I don't understand that.
Well, no, the number on the budget, yes, I understand that negative, but we've never made money off the community center.
no, I get that, but what I'm saying is this is a negative revenue.
I see that.
Did we literally give someone money, a bunch of money
It
for?
might have been a deposit refund overlapped, I don't really know at the moment, but I
Okay.
did see that
Usually they
negative.
about 16,000.
Yeah, there's something
On
going
the
on.
community center, so there's something really off with the community center because we usually make about 16,000. So that really needs to check out because there's something seriously wrong there.
It's always been.
How often is it rented
Well,
out?
last year you only made 25.
How often do we have renters in it?
And you can't have.
It depends, summer and like the holidays is the biggest.
If you go through your transactions sheet that staff provides every so often, you'll see -300, -300, -300, -300. Those
That's
are
the
refunded
deposit.
back your deposits.
But
So
that's-
you're being rented and like,
Right.
it has to be more than, it has to be more than that.
We usually make about 16,000 on
Yeah,
rentals.
your historical trend and
Well, I disagree, because as Commissioner Green just pointed out, in '24, which I think is probably pretty well audited, there was just a $2,500.
I don't believe those numbers.
24 is not audited yet.
Oh, I'm
It's
sorry.
reconciled, but it hasn't been
Okay,
audited.
so that's not correct.
Another thing
So
that
that's
I
not
have
right.
observed is that a lot of,
One person at a time, please, just so that we can capture the conversation, just as a courtesy. Thank you.
just to piggyback on what he's saying, what I have observed on the budget and stuff in the past is that, some things, and I found this to be true with Cindy, that charges were being made to the community center, they shouldn't have been. So I wanted you to know that too, because, a good example, I'm trying to think of an example, but there's a number of them. And I
Like
have
the utilities is one.
Utilities
yeah.
and, because what is happening with the utilities, they're lumping our utility bills. And one day I confronted her about this, and I said, what is the utility bill for this month? She said it was 1,000 something. Anyway, it was, when we checked it out, it turned out, and she admitted it, that it was not that amount, that it had been lumped in with City Hall or some other utility bill. And that went on, and all these kind of things went on and on for years with that list.
Well, that's just so poor, so disappointing to hear that.
And another reason, sir, you've got to have good record keeping and stuff like that when you're renting the place. And if you look at some of the applications, some of those were just,
I know, you've covered that, I got it.
out of sight.
Okay, as I keep going down here,
Can I
sale,
just capture right below that line item we're talking about? This is on page 2.
yes, sir.
And you need to earmark this, Dallas, that senior center rental fees. There will be no rental fees in this budget year because we have closed, and there should be no expenses other than a base utility bill just to turn on a light, unless we even turn the power off for safety reasons, because that's a surplus building.
The power is not off, no.
I know it, I'm just.
Oh, I thought you said, I'm sorry.
I'm just saying the expenses, anywhere you see senior center, that is a surplus building at this point that is basically dormant. I mean,
Okay, so I do have $2,000 budgeted for maintenance and $500 for expenses. I can zero those out.
yeah, I think it should go to 0, and then if we need to create something, but I mean, in the sale of a surplus property, I don't think we're gonna be expensing anything unless something catastrophically happens, a tree goes into the roof or something like that, but, so.
And the
utilities, I think we put down almost 4,000 for utilities for the
Yeah, and it can't, I mean, if we,
So you are at 3,100 so far this year and 4,200 the year before
on utilities,
on utilities.
yeah, so. it may
How in the
behoove
world are
us-
we racking up $3,100 in
It
utilities?
was used, they were using it 4 and 5 days a week. As a senior citizen, with the citizens coming, eating their lunches there, having programs, air condition running, lighting.
With absolutely no revenue, it was just a courtesy type
Yes,
thing?
it was, yeah,
Okay.
it was a service in Archer for the senior citizens
Okay, I
to
didn't know that.
attend on a daily basis, so, you know, and we don't have a director, a volunteer director anymore. And we have issues with the kitchen and things like that, so I think we've made a decision that we wanted to close it for safety enhancement at this point and consider it surplus. I think we made that decision as well, to direct you accordingly, which is, again, I know, Dallas, you don't want me talking about earmarking, but there's certainly, if we have a sale of that property, that could behoove us, for looking for missing money, so.
I have zeroed out the expenses and I lowered your utilities to $1,200, $100 a month.
Whatever the base utility would be, but certainly not being used 5 days a week, air conditioning, all that. So it should dramatically reduce that utility bill. Sorry,
That's okay,
I
no,
just-
I appreciate it.
it's a big ticket piece of money.
Well, with that said, I mean, we had put $2,500 in the budget, and we're already at $3,100. Now, maybe that was, and it hasn't been used for the last 3 months, but someone was sure using it because they went way over that budget, so that's the kind of stuff we should be
Right,
doing, you know, keeping abreast of the stuff.
okay.
Okay, so far, the sponsors, I think we covered this, but $1,700 and then 5,000, so we predict 5,000 on,
What page you on?
I was still on page 2,
Two,
just at the
okay.
very bottom there.
All right,
And then as we look at page 3, the top recreation fundraisers, 3,000. To date, it's 0, but I think we talked about that. Going into expenses, which probably is more current than the income. Retirement is 11,000, and now it's gonna be 4,300. Why is that going down so dramatically? Not that that's a bad thing.
Can we switch for a little bit? If I go through these expenses?
Yeah, certainly.
Thank you for that.
yes, ma'am, Mr. Ford.
So, Dallas, that public works equipment, that $1,001.29.
I'm sorry, are you in
Page
revenues
3.
or?
No, we're on expenses now.
Page 3,
Yeah. Do you see that under your 25 and your 24? I think that's an error. You don't have even a GL that's applied to. And it's in your totals, just FYI.
I'm sorry, can you give me the number, the GL number?
There is no GL number, that's
No.
the problem. You're just public works equipment,
Oh, yeah, it's hidden up there.
but it's in your totals. It's only $1,000, but moving forward, you probably want to correct it or put the GL number with it.
Oh, okay, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't,
Floating out there.
Yeah, so, thank you again, Mr. Arnold, for letting me jump in here. So I just have a couple things. So for the next meetings, for your headers, for the actuals, can you put through what date, or don't even do actuals and do a projection? Might even be better. And then, one question I do have about the revenues before I get into the expenditures, the interfund transfer in for $70,000, where did that come from? And we didn't do a budget amendment for that, did we?
We did not do budget amendment, and that was just transferring from one fund to the other. That was before I was told I wasn't supposed to be doing that, so that was just me not knowing.
So when you say one fund, we don't have a lot of funds, so you think it came from the water
Well,
fund?
yeah, it would've came from water, sorry, yes, to general fund,
that's why I brought up for that transferring from one
Yes.
enterprise to another, so.
correct.
yeah, and on those, to your point, Karen, about the public works, if that is showing there, that is a GL that exists
It
in
is?
the system, it just may not have
Okay.
in QuickBooks, you don't have to put a GL number,
Okay,
but I've got it flagged to go and look at.
okay.
So it isn't, I would say it probably is a valid expense.
Yeah, and Deanna, if you can move those discretionary sales tax out of this fund into your special fund, before you show the actuals again, that would be great. Budget amendment, we talked about that. Community center fees, we talked about that. Recreation, talked about that. So commission salaries, why are we going down to $30,000 when their payment, their actual salary is more than that? Do we know?
Because we reduced our salaries to $250 from $500 a month per
The
commissioner.
math, I don't think that doesn't equal the 30,000, I don't think. Were you told that?
1,000 is $500 times 12 times 5. I thought it was $500 is what.
We reduced it
Yeah, I knew you had reduced it.
to January 1st for review to $250. So it's only a partial part of this year that it's been reduced.
Okay, so it should be 500 times.
But October,
But
November,
they didn't do
December.
it for the whole year, they only did it for a couple months.
Six.
So-
Six months.
Is it,
Yeah.
It's
is it through January?
$11,000 by the end of the year.
Okay, so I'll do 9 months at 500 and 3 months at 250.
Starting July 1st through December, we've reduced to $250 per commissioner times 5. It's $11,000
So you'll have
reduction.
3 months at 250 in this fiscal year.
That's 2025.
Right.
So are
3
you
months.
doing that for 26? That's what we're working on. So 26, are you gonna continue that
October,
reduction?
November, and December, it's 3
Okay.
months, yes, 250.
Thank you.
And that's why the retirement, the FRS should be reduced as well, so.
And I think on this, across the whole fund, some of the salaries are being paid out of the wrong areas. And then when I was working more directly in the accounting system, the QuickBooks doesn't allow you to allocate expenses based off of like a cost center.
Gotcha.
It just kind of plugs it into places. So when I was reconciling, I was doing journal entries to move them to the correct place.
Okay, so obviously you're gonna fix the payroll tax based on that new number for commission salary. The retirement, to Deanna, for your audit, there's no way that you have 0 payroll tax for '24, so you're gonna have to fix that before you even give it to your auditor. Your retirement, so the FRS retirement for the commission, this is only showing at around 14%, and I'm pretty sure based on the July 2025 contribution rates, isn't it gonna be more like 54%?
Is the commission the elected official class? Oh,
Yes,
sorry, that was my mistake. In Newberry, they are not in the elected official class.
yeah, so that needs to be.
I'm sorry, can you give me that exact number, Karen?
54.57.
Okay. I have it corrected.
Okay,
So that brings it up to 14,320.
yeah, that seems more in line. So, thank you for cutting out the other items under the commission. Going down to the city manager, so I'm assuming you're doing 90,000 salary split between the water fund and the general fund?
If I remember correctly, Deanna was 75% general fund, and so I put a portion of Deanna's salary into executive and left a portion in administration. And then the other portion is going to be in the water fund. But let me pull up that spreadsheet.
Can we find out who's being paid out of what fund?
Sure, give me just 1 second.
Yeah, that's one of my questions too.
That's confusing, but if we could understand who's getting paid on one fund, I'm sure would make it easier.
Alrighty. In admin, we have Deanna is 88%. And so out of that 88%, I put 45,000 to city manager. Justin is 75%.
Is this out of the general fund?
This is out of the admin department of the general fund.
Oh, okay, admin.
And then Tangi is 25%.
Where is she, the rest of her, in the water fund?
Yes.
Water and solid waste.
Okay, so I know, I'd be interested to see the water.
Can you repeat that again, please?
Deanna is 88%. Justin is 75%. Tangi is 25%.
And while you have that open, who's in streets?
John is 25%, Steve is 75%, and Calvin is 50%.
50 or 15?
50, half. And then Scott is 100% in parks.
In what?
Parks.
Parks, okay, I'm sorry.
And in the water fund, you have Deanna at 12%, Justin at 25%, Tangi at 60%, 60, John at 75%, Steve at 25%.
When you're going too fast.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I got Deanna at 12% and Justin at 25% and
Tangi's at 60%,
60%.
60.
Okay,
John is at 75%. Steve is at 25%. And Calvin is at 50%.
Wow. That's a lot, because we had a hard time balancing the water with all of those positions in there. So it should be interesting to see how you do that.
we're missing Tangi.
No, she's in there.
The remaining balance will be the solid waste fund for Tangi.
Will be solid waste.
Yeah, it should be 15% to solid waste.
And 60, so the
The 15 is solid waste, garbage.
So Deanna's position as the clerk has been eliminated. That has been combined with the city manager's position.
At our first workshop, I was given direction not to budget the city manager's position.
Okay, so this, what
So
I'm seeing in here is just.
You are
Deanna's
correct.
position.
There is not an FTE for clerk and for manager. There
The
is
deputy
just one
clerk has been
FTE.
removed because you're filling.
Okay,
And
so.
then I took a portion of her salary and moved it into city manager.
Okay, and this is going way down the weeds, but I would be careful doing stuff like that if that was me, because if the commission decides to do a city manager, then your old position's gone. So I don't want to screw yourself over. So just be careful when you do things like that. If they do go down that route, I'm not sure if they will. Maybe you'll just be the.
It's not, the position's not gone, it's just, we don't have money to.
It was to move down as lean as we could
Right,
be
right.
and build a budget that would be a balanced
Right,
budget.
Oh, so you didn't get rid of the FTE. You're just getting rid of the budget this year. So you're.
It's not
It's
budgeted.
frozen.
The funds aren't budgeted, correct?
Gotcha. All right, thank you. Then, so moving on to, oh, and I see that the FRS, based on a city manager level position, is correct. It's right at the 33.24%, so that one I agree with. Moving on to administration. Can I get to it fast? Okay. So here, my question was who's being budgeted here, so you explained to me in percentages, thank you. So your payroll tax, you didn't include your overtime in your calculation on this one, this department? So here, the FRS is using 27.3. Where does that number come from?
It's a combination, because Deanna's partially in this.
Okay.
So you have Deanna's senior manager FRS and then the regular FRS for the other
For
employees.
all other ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've corrected the payroll taxes to about 9,900.
Okay, perfect. So, Deanna, another thing, the admin for 24, before you give these to the auditors, they're showing no overtime for the admin department in 24, and I feel like that's not true. With all the stuff that happened, I feel like everyone said we were doing tons of overtime. And then if you look also under 24, you have no payroll taxes again there. I don't know what's happening with your accounting on that, but you definitely have payroll taxes. So each department's insurance expenses went down compared to FY24 actuals. So I'm not understanding how that can be, because we were told that the supplemental insurance was being paid by the employees. So that can't be a factor in this number going down. And I know that payroll numbers were provided to Lori, and I see where there was deductions from paychecks for the supplemental insurance. So why would we go down in insurance compared to 24? Did you get new rates? Do you have what the rate is per employee that's covered? Because that should just be an easy plug based on percentage.
For 26, for 26, I got, Deanna provided me what the city was actually paying for each employee, and that's what I used to calculate the insurance for
So
26.
is it
I
not
might-
just a set rate per employee? Everyone gets
No,
something
because they're
different?
such a small group, they don't get the set amount for each employee.
Are
Each
we
employee's
paying for family, or is it just employee?
just employee only.
Okay.
I think in 2024, some of them, and I think this is true on a lot, because they were essentially running by cash basis of accounting, not accrual basis of accounting, that there are over expenditures and under expenditures. I know when I was helping Justin, we were several months behind on paying the Blue Cross Blue Shield payments. And then
Yeah,
they've
that's one of
been-
my comments here. It should have been a balance sheet item for all of those supplemental, and it's probably sitting in your actuals there.
The way their QuickBooks is set up, it does not accrue payroll liabilities
Okay.
except for taxes.
Okay, and then under payroll taxes, we talked about that, it's 0 for 24, that can't be. So now moving on to the audit. So Deanna, there's nothing in there for 24 in expenditures or 25, and we would have had an audit in each of those years. And so I don't know why those are both 0. Maybe 25 is just a timing issue, but I think you should have something in 24. And then the $10,000, I've been seeing the $10,000 being budgeted year over year. Is there no increase in this contract?
I know what they just gave me for the mayor to sign, I think was 19,000. So it's split in funds, correct?
I'm sorry?
The budget, the audit of it's split, I know.
Yes.
Yeah, the total will be 19,565, and then of course 3,000 for each single audit if required. So it's close to 20. But yeah, I thought it was 10 in each.
So you're gonna split this with
Yes.
the water fund? Is that
Yes.
what I'm hearing?
Yeah, there's
Yes.
another 10 in the water fund.
Thank you. Legal advertisement, $1,500. Just your trim notice is gonna eat that up. So we're not gonna do any other legal advertising, or are you splitting this between funds?
I partially based that off of actuals, and then, the state law changed to allow the city to advertise on the website, on the county's website. I
Yeah.
would recommend that they do that.
I do too.
It saved Newberry, it saved us close to $30,000 a year in advertising.
We've got
Does
the
staff
election
understand
coming
that
up.
that's possible?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
We advertise on the county website, not the city.
The law changed a number of years ago that said you no longer have to advertise in a newspaper. You can use the county's website. So in Newberry, for example, we have a link on our website that says legal notices that directs you to the county's website. But the county does not charge for that
And it's a
service.
savings, so for even if you have a special election or whatever, you can utilize.
There are certain things that still have to be in the newspaper. Trim, I believe, is kind of a gray area, but everybody just
Yeah, even
defaults to go
that
to the
can,
news.
if you can even do the trim in, yeah.
Some of the election stuff, like I can't, not an attorney. In Newberry, our ordinances very clearly say it has to be advertised in a newspaper of general circulation, so we have to follow our
done that.
ordinance, but
But
Yeah.
that's been several
it does
thousand
save a lot of
dollars,
money.
right, on election year? And we have to pay for the election office,
Correct.
their services, which is $2,500
Around there.
for a special election or whatever, plus the advertising.
Is it 25? Because I think I don't have 2,500 in here for elections.
That's about.
I'm talking about when we have election years coming up. We always pay the election office, and again, top of my head, but it's over $2,000 for their services, plus then the advertising fee. And this budget year will have that there.
So you have 1,000 budget and election expense,
I've updated that
yeah.
I just.
Updated that to 2,500.
Okay. Yeah, just
Okay.
need to increase it because of elections.
So, I don't know where the fiber, the Verizon, and the Cox is in this section of the budget. So you're tracking to pay over $20,000 in FY '25 for these items, but I don't see where they are budgeted right here. Are they in this administration section? Is that what that 20,000 admin office is?
From what I seen, a lot of stuff gets put in admin office, so I'd have to probably did you pull an expanded list? Probably have to pull an expanded list to see, because I noticed, not saying it was last year, but I noticed some years stuff was put in there that I don't, in my opinion, shouldn't be stuck in there.
So Dennis, for your Verizon cell phones, it looks like it's $513, or City Hall phones, $513 a month. If, based on that, the log that they give, the transaction fees, so that's like $6,000 a month right there. The Cox Communication, I show it to be close to $7,300. Just if you're able to look through those bills, that's what I'm seeing, that's what I'm basing that number off of. Moving down into.
I'm sorry, that was Cox and Verizon.
So there's expenses that are specifically labeled fiber, then there's expenses that are labeled Verizon, and then there's expenses that are labeled Cox. And all three of them together are tracking about $20,000 for '25 in actuals. Based on that transaction list. So moving down into, to the FMIT.
Before you move on, Carrie, I did have one recommendation. You guys spend a lot of money on printing and copying.
Yes.
You may consider not printing packets for the commission dais anymore. I've seen your packets, they're huge. You could probably save you would save money in copying and
Is it
printing.
required to do that for some reason or anything?
Courtesy.
Yeah, we do an electronic and we send the commission a link.
Yeah, I thought the city already, bought the commission, iPads for up on the dais.
No.
No, that was considered, but we didn't expense that, no.
You have computers at home where you can print out most of the information.
I'm not using all that paper. I'll bring my laptop to the.
Good suggestion, guys.
I agree. To add to that, though, we're making copies for the public as well, and that's actually more copies.
Yeah, but I don't know why
Just bringing that up.
That's very nice, but.
But, because when we stopped it once, and there was a big outcry, so we resumed with the binders, so if the commission directs me, then we will stop. I just need direction that we are stopping copies of all
Just have it up here.
agendas.
I really do think that the citizens should get
Could we utilize the screen when we have the agenda? Or,
We have to put the other TV in here and connect up to
Let's do it.
but we could scroll and the audience could,
That's the question.
what's that?
Can people actually see it? I know before I had my cataracts, and no way in the world I could see nothing on that screen unless I'm sitting right there in front of it. So it depends on people's eyesight and stuff like that.
Do you use that projection, something like that?
It still depends on people's eyesight.
Just holds down.
We'd have to evaluate the copy cost versus IT converting this, which every time we do that, the expense is astronomical and we back off. But if we could just look into that and just ask, Mr. May is pretty accommodating as far as just telling what we need and what we're trying to do and see what he comes up with. Thank you.
So FMIT, I see it budgeted in different departments, which I get. But for '25, we were tracking about $115,000. And now if I add up all the FMIT just in the general fund, it's $68,000. And I'm assuming we're still split funding this between the water fund and the general fund. So that's a 20% increase. Is that accurate? Did you get numbers on this?
I did not get numbers on that. Have you gotten a renewal for FMIT, Tiana?
Yes, I'm trying to remember how much it is. It's quite a bit. I think it's like, the payment's like 27,000 every quarter.
Every quarter.
Yeah, it's a lot of money we spend on our insurance.
When was the
I mean,
last-
our
when was the last time y'all
deductible's quite
shopped?
low.
So currently, it's $27,135.25 per quarter.
Quarter.
So that, if you split fund it, is 100 and, go ahead.
Is that workers' comp and liability?
It does,
Okay, it's everything.
yeah.
It may be an idea for the city to shop your insurance and get rates from different insurance providers for your workers' comp and your liability.
Good idea.
Thank you.
Yeah, so if you can just verify that number, because that's a 20% increase, and it very well might have been an increase. And then don't forget, you don't just have that, you also have your FMIT audit policy expenditure, which is $3,000 a year, so make sure you get that plugged in somewhere as well. Moving on, your postage, you're tracking to spend about $7,300 for '25. You only have $3,000 budgeted in the general fund. Are you budgeting the remainder in the water fund?
It should be because of the billing.
What are you spending that much postage on?
You should see how much postage.
But in the general fund?
Well, no,
If it's-
7,300 according to the expense sheet that I keep talking about. And that's how much is sitting. I don't think the expenditures are hitting your water fund. A lot of it's just hitting your general fund, so I'm just going off of
Yeah,
that.
because I could understand having a large postage expense in your water fund. I don't know what you'd be paying for postage out of your general
It's all
fund.
being-
Well, and postage has went up.
It's 74 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean,
It
I
has
agree,
went up.
postage is expensive. I don't think it's necessarily a general fund expense.
Some bills every.
Yeah. In the last part,
I've got it flagged.
yeah.
Okay, so it's closer to
Because I know our
7,300.
office spend a lot on postage. When we trying to see what we can do also. So it is a big expense. Cause it just went up 2 weeks ago to 70-something cent. And like Mayor Hope had spoke before to try to get more people to do it online. If we can call them, I ain't gonna say send them a letter because that's more postage, but if we can get on the phone and get, call some I'm talking about patients, call some customers to see about going online.
I might recommend you guys don't have a lot of new customers, but we automatically default new customers to electronic bills, and you have to opt in to get your bill mailed to you. We also have run promotions before where if you opted in to get an email bill, we gave you a $5 credit, a one-time $5 credit to opt in, and you had to stay opted into the electronic bill for at least 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really annoying process to manage, but we did get a lot of customers who converted to the electronic bills.
Yeah, because
The
I'm
water
willing to
billing,
come and call some of them to
Well,
see what we can do.
They were pleased with doing that? I mean, because I've asked Tangi twice and she said she likes it, but the people that convert.
Oh, yeah.
Like my
yeah.
wife who
Our
was
customers
so
love-
distrusting, but now she does it and she,
Our customers much more prefer electronic billing,
Electronic.
especially with the state of the post office recently.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I get one.
Because the mail takes up to 2
what
weeks
is the percentage of
to get from
electronic
Gainesville to
the
Gainesville.
billing now, you think? Just, well, I mean, I'm not gonna hold you to it, but just 50% of the bills probably, or no?
No.
Do
Maybe
you
20.
feel that if we gave them a one-time credit, I mean, could we consider that at a future meeting for a budget year? If it was just $5, that's just $5 one time?
But
But people like their money.
And you may not have to do that. It may just be, right, it may just be a matter of informing people that they can get them online.
And they've gotta fill out the banking account.
Right.
You also have to make sure that you don't give them the option to do both. Because if they have the option to do both, they will do both.
It's on the back of the bills.
Okay, so it's on the back of the bills.
How to do
but who reads?
every month.
Or, yeah, electronic billing, and, yeah.
But
So-
what we just said is a one-time $5 credit off your bill.
I heard you guys.
Not trying to
You can
get,
also educate your customers that are coming in the office to drop off that bill during that time. Tangi can spend time with them and say, this is the process to get you registered. They may just need to be handheld.
could we agenda that just to, so that you have direction from us whether we want to expend? What did she just say?
That is also being done. She tell them when they come in,
Yeah.
they could pay online, they don't have to come in.
But I
And
asked
she get,
Deanna if she would just agenda a consideration of a one-time credit, if, as an incentive for them, if we could just come to determine what we want.
But my other question is, when they're paying with the debit card or credit card, are they getting paid, charged that extra fee? Like when you get to go out to eat and they charge you for it, so
Yeah,
is it worth,
But not the automatic billing. If you give them the bank account, there's no charge for that.
To pay online, there's a fee, like go through the website, pay online, yes. Now, to do AC automatic withdrawals on the 10th of the month, there is no fee.
Right.
So there's two different things you can do.
So if you do it by check, if you do it by,
Correct.
Pay with a card. If you come in here and pay with a card, if you pay online, it's 2.95%.
But if you set up your
If you
account,
do e-check,
yeah.
it's 1.95%.
So
But if you set up
ACH,
ACH,
there's-
and trust me, I tell the citizens this all the
But you
time.
like the ACH, right?
Yeah, I
Simple-
like the
Simplified
ACH.
billing.
I
and
like
no
the
postage.
email bills because I have to stuff envelopes.
Okay, well, that's what we're talking about, giving a one-time, it's gonna come up on the agenda,
Yeah.
one-time
Yeah.
incentive, and then you'd have something to sell at the
Because
last
I
window.
stuff envelopes. Miss Ann Green just said she'll come help me stuff envelopes, but she ain't came help me yet.
But we're talking about getting rid of stuff and bills, so, all right. All right, thank you.
2025.
Go ahead, Karen.
So if you look at GL admin office, you have 20,000, and we talked about the
What
short.
page are we on?
We're still on page 4.
4, okay.
But if you go over to your 24 actuals, you'll see that admin office GL and your financial admin other, those combined, your expenditures are over $42,000. And just for fiscal year 25, according to your actuals, you're already at 29,000, yet we're only budgeting 20 for this. So I think we really need a breakdown of what's in those two accounts to make sure we're not missing anything for 26.
Part of what's in 25 was me when I was doing a lot more work.
Okay.
So I do know that because that's where part of me was being paid out of.
So you really feel that, do you know what else is in those two numbers?
I do not, and I don't know what's in the 20,000 in 2024,
Okay,
but I've got it notated here.
okay, thank you. Legal services, so the 60,000, that's just the contract, but in 25, we paid an additional $10,000 for legal services for extra activities. Are we planning on not having any extra activities? The way we use our legal, I can't imagine that not to be the case.
I know that Fulton Walker waived the charter review fees, so I was, I hate that this turns itself off.
That's what Joni says at that desk. It must be that chair.
So I was making the assumption that they would continue to give the special discount to the city, not charge for above and beyond. But
But the 10,000 wasn't anything to do with what they're,
I don't know what the 10,000.
so that was just other projects that they were working on.
The planning stuff.
And they already gave you their number for 26? I mean, they're not going up by
They're
more than
not
the
going up.
5,000?
No, I talked to Scott about that. He's not increasing.
Okay. Where am I? The Emerald Professional Services. So I assume this is the GL that Emerald Data Partners is being tracked in. And we paid,
I believe Emerald is the next one down the IT line.
Yeah, that's IT.
I'm
Okay.
not sure what else is in there, but that's 61,000.
Okay, so you're saying the IT is just Emerald. We are tracking at over 24,000 for FY '25 with Emerald, so I don't know if that 20 is gonna be enough. Edmonds, we're tracking over 29,000 in FY '25 for Edmonds, and you only have 20 there. Do we have the
So you said
contract?
those 29,000?
So nothing for admin cleaning services, which, so we're planning on using the commissioner for the whole year to clean offices?
No, I knew, there was something, that was it, my bad. We do have cleaning, so that doesn't need to be added.
That's just recent, in the last,
Yes.
How much is that gonna
I'm
be?
thinking.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
I think it's 240.
240 a month?
Yes, here in the community center has, that is one.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear that.
$240 a month for the administrative
Here
cleaning.
and the community
Oh,
center,
no, the community center is more. Yeah, it's,
how much?
I don't remember, I'm trying to think. Community center might have been 220. Trying to picture the
Okay.
thing.
Did we not pay anything on Edmund's contract in 23, 24?
That's probably sitting all up in professional
I
services.
think so.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and then a lot of that professional service, that 205 and that 148 is Kimley Horn.
Yeah.
Should be moved.
Yeah.
Should be moved to another fund.
So the cemetery contract mowing, so according to our documents, we pay $582 per month, so that adds up to $6,984, not $6,500. So the cemetery water, we didn't pay water in 24 or 25. We're still budgeting 2,500. And Lee, I go back to your report that you provided, or Dennis, I'm sorry, on
Dallas.
Dallas. God, I want to call you Dennis so much. On 12/30/24, and you stated that the findings, the city hasn't paid the water bill in over a year. Has this been corrected? And so with that statement from your findings, I feel like there should be a transfer budgeted from the general fund back to your water fund to cover those expenses, and I don't see anything in here.
Have you paid the water bills back?
No, we have not.
That's another one of those transfers that that would happen on a regular basis. It used to drive me crazy with Cindy because
And it's quite a bit of money too.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it was over $10,000 that was owed from the city to itself.
And then all for 2025 probably hasn't been done as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it would show up, I mean, if they paid it, it'd be an expense, and then they'd cut themselves a check, but I'll make sure they need to accrue that.
Yeah, because we're losing money in the water fund, but we're not paying our own bills.
we're not transferring from the general fund.
I should show in the record.
And it,
Terrible record.
it's air money because there is no charging anybody that pays anything. It's just tracking the expense of if they were a customer. So we need to be careful how we do that.
Well, that all though is how you're going to calculate what your true water expense,
That's which
your
always
rates and
concerns me because
all
how much
should
water are we
be-
losing and we're gonna
Yeah.
pay a contract company for it, and no, it's
You-
internal.
You should treat yourself as though you're any other customer.
That's right. Yep.
and it
Bill
should be-
yourself, penalize yourself,
Right.
because
I-
otherwise you're providing an unfair benefit to yourself.
When you say we owe 10,000.
Start writing stuff down.
I believe it was over 10. I want to say it was like closer to 20, but I don't remember.
I would concur with
And that was back probably in December, January when I was.
But the cemetery has no water because they've cut off the water. Right? It's still cut off, isn't it?
Correct, because there's that big leak out there.
Big leak and I don't want to fabricate a number here that with the water turned off. It's like the senior center, if it's dormant, it doesn't have any expenses.
To Deanna, again, the payroll tax is under streets. Something's really weird about that happening. 26 budget looks fine based on that budgeted number. Now I'm on page 6.
We'll stay with 5. yeah.
Okay.
Why was it was 47 and 24, and then the actuals this year are 11, and next year it's gonna be 5,900?
I'm sorry, what are you looking at?
Still looking at the payroll taxes on the
Streets.
last,
Very last.
The last line item on page 5 is what you're looking at, right?
Yeah, all I can say is when I was working on that, I remember a lot of it would default to the streets and the streets payroll tax account as where it would post the tax expense. Because I mean, if you do the quick math there, obviously your tax rate's not a third of your payroll. So I think you're over reporting payroll taxes in streets and under reporting some of your other departments.
Yeah.
Again, another transfer.
It needs to be adjourned. Well, ideally, once you move to Edmonds will allocate the expenses correctly, but it would need to be a journal entry to.
Journal entry is a transfer. Okay.
It seems to me that the auditors are gonna have a mess on their hands when they go into audit 23, 24. Is that?
They already.
Good, I mean, is that accurate to say?
I am not envious of their job.
So FRS budget under streets still on page 6, 14.3, that's in line with the current rates. But look at fiscal year 25, it's tracking closer to like 19%. I don't understand that.
I think that's that same problem where it's allocating expenses strangely.
Okay, you already explained the health insurance issue. Under parks, you already said that was 100% one position. FRS seems to be on track there as well. It's at 14%. So in this area, I noticed that this individual is not getting insurance. Is this individual getting insurance? Because if not, can we not budget for all that?
He has full benefits like the rest of them.
It's just not recorded properly. Okay.
When I did the budget amendment back in January and moved him to parks, I think he's still being paid out of streets and roads. He's not being allocated to parks.
And just him alone, health is $7,700. This is based on your contract with.
His health insurance, his insurance package in total is about $650 a month.
Okay.
That the city pays?
I will say, I just got my renewal in Newberry, and we're paying $950 a month for health insurance per employee.
It's astronomical.
So the last two comments that I want to make, and again, I appreciate everyone letting me stand up here. You explained the loan, you're going to take that out of the water fund. Good luck with doing that water fund, because you are going to be so negative, and I think you're going to be negative on this fund as well. I really think you should be showing, if anything, even if it's $1,000, a transfer to your wild spaces, public places, because during that county meeting, they said at least make an effort. In their words were, even if it was just like a couple $100s. And you're gonna hate me, but that's what I'm up here for. Where are the list of cuts? I don't see any. I don't see we are going to do without this coming year because we need to cut. I just don't see any. And that's concerning because I thought we would have at least had like kind of a list. And selling property, I think it's great. You can't rely on that like we talked about because you can't like put in a number there because you may never sell it and for 2 more years. So that's like a future items, but.
And it's a one-time fix. It's not.
That's right. So I think after these adjustments that Dallas is gonna have to make, I think your general fund is gonna show you're gonna be in the negative. And your water fund, I guarantee probably gonna be, unless he does some really fancy footwork, is gonna be in the negative. And that's with an adjustment to your millage rate. But there needs to be cuts. You have to make it up with cuts, and we don't have any.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
based off the adjustments I've made so far, you're negative $3,000.
Thank you.
And that's before we make adjustments with additional revenues that we haven't captured. That is the unknown.
What additional revenues? What additional revenues?
That we haven't captured from January through June 30th.
No,
That's the unknown.
those are for the year-to-date actuals. The
Yes.
budgeted numbers,
But that forecast for the next year would be based on.
the forecast I use the state's numbers of not Archer's records.
Right, but
The
once
state
you
produces here's what we've paid you year to date. I use those numbers, so I know that they're accurate. And they have Karen's seal of approval. Kind of.
Did we take out all of
No, I
the
think your
expense for
revenues
the
are good,
senior
actually.
citizen?
I just, the cemetery, you need to bump that up, but I think your revenues are good.
I'm sorry,
Did we
Commissioner.
take out all of the expense for the senior center?
Yes, except for the utilities. There's a little bit of
And if you
utilities
cut the
left.
tower there,
Okay,
that's gonna be
yes.
substantial. I mean, if we turn it off.
Cause so on page 6, that 55750, on page 6,
Yes, ma'am, I've cut it to 1,200.
Yeah.
1,200 is for utilities, maintenance is 0, other expenses is 0.
okay. Do we need utilities there if it's not
That's what I s-
operating at all?
I'm not a maintenance person, but I do think you probably need to run the air conditioner a little bit so you don't get mold in the building, but the mayor disagrees.
Yeah.
That one we need to cut, we just need to hurry up and sell it. So for the cemetery,
Speaking to what I'm sorry, please.
you go ahead. We didn't budget any like water or anything for the cemetery this time, right? That was 0, right?
No, ma'am, I believe you did budget.
Well, I mean, we do have to budget for the, cutting and everything like that, but not for water.
If it's cut
We-
off, there shouldn't be any expense.
Right,
to
it's
have to
cut off
transfer.
anyway.
Oh, there is no water at the
And we need to
cemetery?
budget For right now.
Oh, okay.
It's been cut off for 6 months, so.
I think we have 0 there anyway, I think.
Yeah, I had 2,500, but now I've cut it to
For
0.
water,
Yes, ma'am, but I've cut it.
so cut down. Now, cause I wanted to ask, why would we need water at cemetery anyway?
Because people want to clean their stones and plant flowers and,
Well, I know at, the ones I know of, they ain't no water to
yeah, you
them.
have to bring your water, absolutely.
They have to bring their own water
Yes,
and do
ma'am.
their own cleaning.
Well, that's the way it is at Laurel Hill now, because there's no water. so.
Okay, so I'm just wondering, can we take that out the budget for right now,
Yeah.
for this year?
He
You did, right?
He did.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
He
it's out.
captured it, so that's,
So you did take that out?
you stood, so,
Okay,
so that minus 3,000 is now plus 500.
You're at negative $250.15.
Yeehaw. Speaking to what Karen's speaking about, and again, just Dallas, Deanna, we've spoken about things that we took action on to reduce the expenses, like changing the policy of the holiday bonus that's in that number of their salaries. If you're capturing that, we're giving her the autonomy through a personnel policy change where it may or may not, which that was $2,700 this past year. Not trying to nickel and dime our staff, but there's $2,750 that's in salary somewhere if it's not captured as a holiday bonus. Do you have that as a chart of accounts
The
separate?
holiday bonus was not budgeted.
It's not.
Hasn't been budgeted ever, just so you know, that I've seen.
Yeah, it has to be in their salaries.
No,
When it's expensed
it's been
out,
expensed, but it hasn't been budgeted. Yeah.
but it's expensed out from previous years.
But no budget.
I would also, you did take a number of actions to cut your budget in
Yes.
January. So I know one of the large ones is all the city events that you had previously
No
spent
city events.
34,000 on is budgeted
Yeah,
at 0.
That was 10 to 15,000, 20,000 a year, no increases, right? I mean,
Yeah, no pay
because
increases.
you ask us to tell you things, that you could work with. So there is a list, Deanna, if you want to just get
In
with,
the overtime, I think, I have the numbers on my desk, I think it's close to 20,000,
That you reduced.
19,000 reduced from
I mean, you're
last
still
fiscal year
showing
to
overtime,
this
but it's
year.
not a
Oh, it's a
substantial
huge reduction.
reduction.
Yes.
It's not $70,000 or $80,000.
Overtime last year either. So
What's that?
We didn't budget overtime last year.
No, but it's earmarked as an expense, and so
But it's not reducing your 26 budget.
It was in the how would it not be reduced than what was in the salaries?
No, so your budget it didn't include overtime. It was your salary, your actual salary.
Right, that's what I mean, but it was still.
But it would
in
include
there.
the overtime rate.
That's in your actual, so I'm talking about budget. So your budget did not include an overtime expenditure. Your actuals are because you have a ton of overtime, but you didn't budget for it.
You have actual expenses, but there's no budget for them.
Right, okay.
Okay. As Ms. Fiore said, there have been cuts made in concessions, but there has to be more. And whether it's the copies, and I brought my own, anything and everything, I still think that we spend a tremendous amount of money on IT for, maybe that's a contractor for something. Literally every contract we should look at and assess. It sounds crazy, but you know, whether it's the phone, anything can be negotiated, utility bills, and a couple things I want to mention. The community center, I'm on page 7. The community center utilities, 11,000 is budgeted. To date, we've spent 3,600. However, last year we spent 16,000. So that's just unusual. Those numbers don't really jive. And then you get to, let's see, the maintenance of the community center. So far this year, we've spent $8,700. The previous year, we spent $17,000. It seems okay. And then we've got $7,500 budgeted. So we're going less, which maybe is cutting on maintenance. But then the other category, and maybe this had to do with, I think, an air conditioner or something, and that's where that falls in, where we spent $6,800, we had $3,500 budgeted, and then $3,500 this coming time. And of course, from what I can tell, the community center's not making any revenue right now. So whatever we got to do to get the message out, we're losing a considerable amount of money.
That's why I had my idea.
Okay, and I get that, because if you're going to have something, it should be close to breaking even, at least. But anyways, thank you so much for everyone's suggestions. I think it's been a good, positive conversation.
Deanna, not that we're going to get it by workshop 3, but another opportunity is to call Duke Energy and ask about the lighting utility bill that's monthly, and what is the discounting for the new lighting system. I mean, we might not get it, but we certainly can amend the budget if we get a reduction.
Mayor, to that point, I think we discussed, I didn't interrupt you there. At the League of Cities, they talked about transitioning from LED. There was something about that with streetlights.
There was a substantial percentage, that's what I'm speaking of.
Okay.
And there was and they were seeking the discount because it's a lot cheaper for Duke to have the new LED lighting, and we have a lot of the blue lights in our city right now. So, you know, it's another peanut on the floor to shell and find savings. So it just, I mean, because we're down to looking at $250 versus a negative, but that could be something, even if it was an estimate, that if she was.
We still don't know what's in some of those other accounts that we have to investigate, so, I mean,
Absolutely.
say that we're balanced yet.
Yes, ma'am, Ms.
I
Lopez.
would just like, Roberto Lopez, I would just like to say, I wish that Jean had been here some years ago to observe how the community center was really treated like a stepchild by Mr. Hammond.
Well, that's why there's, if I may just interject.
Can I please?
If I may just interject, that's why the expenses were such, because we had USDA maintenance expenses required, and we had an air conditioning system go down. So that was substantial expenses in maintenance that,
Okay,
from
now-
that deferred maintenance, it was not taken care of, Ms. Lopez. I agree.
I don't know what you're talking about. I know what I'm talking about right now.
You
But
do
in
know
a-
what I'm talking
But
about.
in a way, it has always been a stepchild.
No, it has.
And the reason I'm saying that is because there were no maintenance on the building a lot of times, so a lot of things went on with that. Also, I tracked back to a lot of applications that I pulled over the years. And it was amazing how much cash was taken in. And if you don't believe me, I can bring them right here and show it to you. Now, to me, that was like misuse of funds. I don't know what happened to the cash. But to me, that's showing in our budget, showing that a lot of stuff went down. And I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot. So it's no telling. Every year we had negatives. Every year. It was like It's just been awful. And you guys really allowed it to happen, because I would come up here and talk to, and send all kinds of emails to Mr. Hammond about that community center. You've got to keep good records. You cannot take cash when you're filling out your forms and different things, because, I mean, the cash is passed on to somebody else and it could get misused. I don't know what happened, Deanna, but it happened.
Are you done talking? Because I
Yes.
do want to respond to that. So I don't understand that comment, because it's almost like you're saying that somebody stole that cash
No, I'm not saying
funds,
that.
so-
No, no,
Okay,
no, no,
so
no, no,
can
you can't
clarify
put-
how that just.
Don't put
'cause
that,
that's how that just
don't,
came out.
don't put that in my, what I'm saying is, don't you wanna find out whether or not somebody did steal it, or if it was fraud? I'm just letting you know that it happened.
How do you know that it happened? How do you know
How do
that
I know?
Angie or me or Jess or Cindy took money and it never made it to the bank?
Look,
You say
look, no,
that with no proof.
You know what, you know what, Deanna? It had to go
Ms. Lopez,
it had to
that's-
go to Cindy. When it left,
Point of order, Ms. Lopez. If you're speaking to something about budget workshop, please proceed. If you're talking about rearview mirror and the past, that does nothing in the budget workshop.
because when I sit
If you
here,
have a recommendation, please give it.
well, the recommendation is no cash, and it wasn't accusing nobody of stealing, but
Okay.
it went, Cindy was here during that time. I'm not accusing her of stealing, but where did it go? I mean, what happened with it? Did it go to the bank? We don't know that. I'm just saying, we don't know any of
That
this.
can
I'm
be
not
reviewed by
accusing-
this commission as an opportunity in a future
And if you would like
meeting.
to see all these applications, I do.
No,
have
ma'am,
them
I
at
do
my
not.
house.
No, ma'am, I do not. Thank you. Yes, sir, Mr. Lewandowski.
Oh, sorry.
He stood up first, I'm sorry. You've been very patient, Mr. Lewandowski, thank you.
Needed to stretch.
Yeah, just needed a stretch. Bill Lewandowski. So,
Yes,
one of my questions, because I was a little confused about some of the loan stuff. Are there any loans that are going to hit the general fund? And if so, are we still trying to figure out what those payment schedule is going to be?
That's what I asked at the very beginning. so.
There are no loans per se, but the general fund does owe the Wild Spaces money back. But there are no external debtors the city owes on a loan.
And
for the
that's
general
why I asked, could we create the chart of accounts of what we can afford to show as a payment that would be retroactive every month?
And that's almost a revolving account type of thing, right? Because you, as I recall, we can spend money. So in other words, we owe X amount, a couple $100,000, whatever it was, 300,000. And so, but we can, as that money goes back in from the general fund, it can be spent back out again. Am I correct? The idea is we have to pay ourselves back, but we can use that money for expenses.
That is correct. Plus, every month you are getting new revenue, restricted revenue that you could also spend on projects within the city.
So, yeah, so I know how to show that, you know, in the corporate world. I'm not sure how that is reflected
In this
in the
budget.
state budgets. As I look at these budgets, I can't see how you can possibly explain that unless you have notes on the side or something that reflects how that's happening.
Because we've moved the discretionary sales surtax to a special revenue fund, what you would show is a transfer out of your general fund.
So it'll be in that
into
special
the-
revenue fund.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Okay. On page 5, comprehensive planning cost. So and you have almost nothing below that for planning and zoning board. So my guess is that you have a couple of big expenses probably coming up next year. For one, you have the Arnold plant, so that's going to be a major permit that's going to have to be reviewed. You're going to have to send that to engineering for review because nobody on staff has that expertise to review it. So I'm assuming that's going to be an expense. You don't have the engineers on retainer, do you?
I don't understand the first comment about the Arnold plant will have to go.
It's going to have to, yes, it's going to have to come, it's at the Regional Planning Center still right now. It's going to, when it comes here, it's going to require additional permitting and additional analysis by the city. I mean, it doesn't go for public review. I mean, there's not a hearing or anything. But when it comes here, according to our ordinances, there are certain things that you're going to have to do that's got to be reviewed, and that's going to require engineering, I'm assuming.
Are you talking about the current, the concrete batch plant or other projects they're working on?
They have, correct me if I'm wrong, there's two proposed projects. One is for an enclosed concrete batch plant, and the other one for an enclosed concrete asphalt plant, which I guess would be in the same complex. So I'm assuming that those are going to, and those are by rights, so I'm not arguing that point, but those are going to require permit reviews. You're going to have that, there's going to be some level of permitting the city's going to have to do. That's going to require engineering. And so I'm wondering if we're planning for those expenses. Just something you should consider. The other thing is we're going to be going through comprehensive plan review next year. I know some of that expense is being covered by the North, as part of the
Their annual
contract we
fee.
have, the annual
Yes, sir.
fee.
That's on the
But there's going to
professional
be
services.
additional expenses aside from that. I'm assuming, you're gonna have to, I don't know, but I'm assuming there's going to be some, I would be surprised if there's no additional expenses that come out of
Amending
that.
our comp plan through the review of North Central Florida Planning as part of their annual contract fee.
Okay, so you're saying there'll be zero expenses that the city will have to pay?
Based on what you're asking about,
Right.
comp plan review, that's part of their contractual professional services fee
Okay, all
that
right.
we approve. Reviewing anything like the other you're talking about, we go through them under their scope of contract services that they provide
Yeah.
for us with that base $7,700.
Okay, and I just want to make sure that we're assuming that the 15,000 we're budgeting is a good guess. That's really my question here. I'm just bringing up two things I know for sure are going to happen. And so, my question is 15,000 enough to cover at least those two events that are coming? That's really my question.
Yes.
So, food for thought. Is that enough to cover it? As I look at going further down, as I look at general service, the total for item 519,000, other general government services, there's a huge difference between actuals and the budget. So the actuals for FY 2024 and the actuals up to this point, there's some big differences. So as I go through, I can see where some of and I've heard some of the discussion here, where some of that may be changing, but are we really sure, based upon what you think is going to happen, some of the changes you're talking about, are we really sure that we're going, 59,000 is going to cover it, looking at some of the actuals? No, you're going to do some changing around, but that's a big delta. It's a big difference.
A lot of what sorry, long day. The 205,000, 148,000 that are in professional services, a lot of that was related to the Kimley Horn and some of the past expenses that were past due that the city's paid all at once.
Right.
So those would explain some of the large ones this year. I'm not sure what you have estimated for projects for next year. And those should not be in the general fund anyways.
Okay, so that's really, I think it's, when I see big discrepancies like that, it highlights for me, are we really taking into consideration and coming up with a reasonable budget for that line item? So that's something I think you should think about. Something similar occurs in the, going down to a little bit lower, 541,000, and then the totals. So if you look down at the total street expenses, and that occurs on page 6 of 8. So, and of course, we don't have all the expenses yet for this year, but for FY 2024, it's $428,000. And up for what you put in the system so far, $237,000, and we're budgeting $228,000. So, and I see some of the big discrepancies, one in tree removal, I assume that's from hurricanes, that's causing that expense. Are we assuming there's not gonna be any hurricanes this year? Another big change is in street maintenance. Road and street repair is another one where, you actually bumped that one up. So my question is, rolling up in terms of street expenses, that big delta from the actuals from FY '24 and the kind of the unknown for 2025, in toto, is that really a good number? That's, again, when I'm looking at these big discrepancies, and I know the devil's in the details, we haven't ironed out all the details yet, that's a big difference. And are we really estimating those expenses properly and taking everything into account?
I can explain for you, the 428,502 from fiscal 23-24 was a request of me, and it was approved by the dais to pull $100,000 out of our reserves at the time for additional street work. that was unheard of in spending that kind of money, but we did. So there's 100 of that 428.
And that's, okay, so that's 100 of that, okay.
Out of the norm. And so this is part of that constricting what we can and can't do. Last year, we had in 25, we had several street projects, park, that we expensed additional $40,000, $50,000 of it. Part of it was grant funding, but other was expense. And so this is constricting that down to being very conservative in what we're gonna do with streets in the next budget year.
Okay.
And again, this is that planning, you know, we have grant funding coming up for water projects and water lines and wastewater that's gonna tear up all the streets. And here's where I go with the $13 million and the $1.5 million and the $9 million and the possible $58 million. That's all in the next 18 to 24 months. So not to burden Dallas with where's all that grant funding coming, but when it hits, we're going to be amending budgets and looking at what kind of projects, the expansion of the project.
And I get that. but
And
we can't-
forecasting all of that, but it's not,
You can't
it's like me
consider that.
saying about the surplus properties. I want so bad, because
Right.
I know that that money's going to come in, and that's why we can have the ability to amend our budget multiple times. But it is a source that's going to come into this budget for this fiscal year.
So
but
one of the things you have to be careful about with budgets is that you have a bit of wishful thinking.
They're
and,
fluid.
You know, and you say, hey, I can balance this budget by cutting this. And then it turns out you really can't cut that.
Or you have to amend your budget because something happens, a hurricane does
Right.
hit, and before we get FEMA money, we're having to expense things.
Right, so what I'm asking is to really make sure that we're not doing wishful thinking and that we're using some basis, some true basis in fact to make those projections. Because the problem is, we're not a regular city at this point. We are.
We're in financial recovery.
Cor-
and
we're-
so
we're in financial
constricted
recovery,
and-
correct.
And we're reducing it down to a bare minimum, which is scary, but it's necessary for us to demonstrate that at this point, at the state level, the county level, and at the municipal level.
Okay,
to the
I-
citizens.
yeah,
I mean,
well,
how many
I
times
agree
do
with
y'all
that.
stand up here and say, you gotta cut, you gotta cut? So we haven't touched the recreation program, but, you know, that's substantial if we have to make that amended budget decision for January going through the remainder of the budget for '26. That may happen. I don't want to anger anybody at this point. I don't want to have a millage maxed out and then we cut a recreation program. It seems like we're going backwards, but at this juncture, we have to have a balanced budget with the restrictions, so.
Right.
With the planning, with the considerations of planning and zoning and those things that we are forecasting are gonna come in this budget year. And we're doing that and sharing that with you all as a citizenry.
Oh, okay, because part of the problem is, and I think you've heard it from the other folks, is we're not seeing all that cash flow. I mean, we hear about it, we're not seeing all that, we're not seeing that flow. We're not seeing the detailed notes on where the money's coming from. You know, we had a balanced budget passed last year, on paper. Turned out not to be correct. So you can turn around and you can have a bit of wishful thinking and you can pass a balanced budget. But if it's if it's too much wishful thinking, you don't really have a balanced budget.
And we're still in reconciling. So that's why I said at the beginning of this meeting or this workshop, I said, or at the meeting, I said, we're going to consider a workshop 3. We haven't had a 3 workshops in 8 years here. So, but it's necessary because we're diving into the deep stuff. It may seem like not fast enough, not on time, as Karen alludes, and I agree with you. We should start the budget process in probably March or April each year so that in May, when we determine what the millage is, we're on time. We'll get there, but this is.
Yeah, I get it. And at this point, I'm not criticizing you. I mean, if
Yeah, you are, and I accept it fully, Mr. Lewandowski.
I'm not criticizing.
You're my planning guy. I understand. If
Right,
I had my
I-
druthers, you'd have a whole planning advisory group here
Yeah.
working on all the planning.
I just
for the
want to
future.
caution you, and just want, not caution, I really want you to think hard about the assumptions.
Yes, sir, and that's what we.
That's really what I'm trying to get across.
A budget is, it shouldn't be, but it's fluid and can be amended, and we'll have that opportunity possibly in this year, when we look at the surplus property when it comes in, and the surplus equipment when all of a sudden it hits in the revenue accounts.
Okay, I guess we'll see.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to be positive, not negative, but I hear your point loud and clear. I do. I hope you all do at the dais as well. So, yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm on page 6. Insurance, workers' comp. We got 4,500 down there, and in 23-24, salaries were 150,000, and we paid 3,800. Salary's been cut to 77,000, and we're paying 4,500. What's the deal on that? Page 6, third one down. Okay, you don't want, okay,
I just based it off of actuals for this year.
okay, all right.
Workers' compensation rates go up, Lori, every year. Am I correct?
This is covered under FMIT. So that contract total went up, according to this document, 20%. Lori. So you have to add the workers' comp and your FMIT numbers together all throughout the entire document to get to your total number for that contract.
Okay. All right, FDOT, we paid 1967 for the last 2 years, and now we're back to 8,500.
It went up substantially this year, did it not, Deanna, because they added signals? We approved that several.
I don't know if it went up quite that much, it might have, but.
If you could look at that, but I know it,
The 8,500.
we approved
yes.
additional signaling, and it was gonna be a higher increase. Whether it's 8,500 or not, we'll certainly look at that, Lori, but it was gonna be a lot more than the standard 1,900 that we've been paying.
Okay. The utility on the streets and roads, the next one, we've already paid 39,000, and we're budgeting 40,000 for next year.
Is that 39,000 probably current, Deanna, as a pass-through through June 30th? I mean, are some of these things not stopping at January, they're moving into June 30th, or? Because that's pretty consistent, that number each year, so I'm
Well,
wondering if maybe that isn't current through June 30th, and if that's the case, yes, Lori, that's what we're anticipating spending for the new budget year. Because of the exercise that I've asked her to do with Duke Energy and find out about what kind of utility billing, lighting decrease in expenses we'd have, because we've gone to probably 35-40% LED lighting in the city of Archer. If you look at your street lights, they're blue, they're not white.
I have noticed that.
Yes, and
So they're
those are
gonna-
cheaper lights for Duke to run, and so therefore, we are asking them, will you pass that discount on to us, the customer? They have not offered that, they won't until, like,
Well,
what's the
I'm just-
community, I'm sorry, where the League of City was.
It's kind of scary because it's wishful
Lacrosse, thank you,
thinking.
ma'am.
We're not there yet.
Lacrosse has done that, and they've received a discounting, so,
Okay,
I'll look into make sure that it's just streetlights getting paid out there as well.
thank you.
thank you very much.
I added up all of your utilities, you're at like 77,000, I believe, in your budget for the general fund, which seems in line with what your actuals are for 25.
Yeah, but, okay, I'll ask you something later, Karen.
That's a different line item.
Uniforms, remember, I don't agree with the 2,500, that's for sure. We should do like most cities do, you buy them a couple T-shirts and then the rest they buy on their own. There is no other city to pay that we paid for our guys, so, and that's only half of it. To be $5,000 on uniforms is absolutely ridiculous.
Okay.
25,000 $2,500 on 3 guys for uniforms is ridiculous.
Okay.
Okay, so, fuel. You know, I've been keeping a close eye on fuel. Okay. Because we're gonna have to put fuel in the water fund too. It's way too high, and I don't understand why the guys, you know, every week run to Bronson and Williston and all over town, and they put, you know, 300 miles on the trucks. I mean, you would have to drive around 3/4 of the time, all the time, in order to get the miles that they put on the truck.
Okay.
You know, because, you know, the speed limit around Archer, you know, the fastest you're gonna go is average is 25 miles an hour.
Okay.
Okay. Wilson Robertson Utilities, why do we have it so much if we've only paid $14.12? And what lights do we have burnt? Do we have lights burning down there all night?
Basketball courts, yes.
Okay, all night long, okay.
I didn't say all night, but those are the lighting that,
I don't think it's on the basketball court. I only remember seeing street lights.
Lights on the court down there or just?
you could turn the lights on and play basketball.
Yeah, but they're not on at night.
Not like they used to be, but I'm saying that that's an expense that's there. The pavilion has lighting,
Well, I understand,
the
but they're
basketball
not
court
lights
has lighting.
like,
You and I
like
can
in-
take a basketball at night and go down there and hit the switch and play basketball at night, correct? That's still a service, yes. And they do
So-
play basketball in the evenings, yes, ma'am.
but, so they're not on a timer? I mean, maybe we need to put stuff on a timer
Okay,
Yeah, they used to be.
to reduce the utilities?
okay.
Okay. Also, I wanted to say, I know that we are gonna have a lot of surplus miscellaneous stuff here and there, but when it comes to your budget, you have to have, every year, you have to show that your expenses, that your income covers your expenses. You can't just get away with, well, I'm gonna sell this year, and then that's gonna pay for something, and then maybe I'll sell this next
Right.
year, and then what are you gonna do the third year, okay? Remember, the state's looking at us, and so we cannot depend on selling surplus
A
property.
a one-time hit of revenue for surplus.
Exactly.
I think I said that, yes, ma'am.
Exactly. Okay, let me just see real quick if I have, I think the other, Karen, and these were already answered, a lot that I had circled and questioned and everything, so, let me just double check here real quick.
Mayor Hope, real quick, Commissioner White said part of that, those lights are also the Duke Energy lights that are throughout the park.
The park.
Yeah.
Which again, I haven't been down there to assess blue light, white light, but it would be still interesting to know, even if we had to audit and go and count how many blue lights. I mean, I'm sure as small as La Crosse is, but the mayor was very strong about their little group of people that actually assessed how many lights were blue lights, and they were challenging to pass that discount on to us. What else, Lori?
Page 2, sale of surplus.
You're going backwards now, page 2?
Yes, sorry. Remember, I was, yeah,
Oh, okay.
sorry. Page 2, 365000, sale of surplus, material and scrap. What are we planning on selling that's
I don't have an
material?
itemized list this evening, but it's surplus materials.
So you do have a list on that of stuff that they're gonna sell, and
I'm
where are
sure
they
Public
selling
Works
it at?
does.
What?
We don't at the moment,
Moment.
no, it's
Not
just. that-
tonight, but-
Yes,
yeah.
we just wanted to put something in there, cause I mean, we possibly are gonna have we're trying to swap around mowers and other things. So it's possible we'll have some more equipment, hopefully maybe even some stuff in the office as we get through everything. So
So
it
we
was a
don't-
higher number, and I asked Alice to lower it, just because I don't like to overpromise.
The
either.
forecast
We
and the
don't
place
have a list
marker,
of anything that
Not
was.
at the moment.
not
no,
that's
ma'am.
created
No,
this
ma'am.
number on this budget,
Okay,
but it's a
well, I mean,
placeholder for
used
surplus.
mowers and stuff like that, they don't go for much, so. Okay. The subscription, page 3, membership subscriptions, we have $1,000, and we've already spent.
All the subscriptions have already been removed.
That was already talked
Yeah,
about, we're
earlier.
removing
So
that
I'd
item.
made them all zero.
The zero.
Oh, okay, because
That was earlier in the discussion.
current year it was 4,700?
Yes.
Wow.
All the fees, membership.
Yeah, and miscellaneous, what kind of goes under
Don't
miscellaneous
forget, our
for
predecessor
commission?
didn't leave us until September, October. So
No,
some-
but what I'm asking is for
The
this,
current year.
for next year, what I'm asking, let me finish.
He said he brought it to zero in the discussions earlier this evening. That's already been identified as
Oh,
zero.
so that miscellaneous is zero? Okay,
Membership and fees.
okay, I'm not talking about that. If you
Okay,
let me
move on.
finish, okay. Miscellaneous,
Miscellaneous what?
on page 3,
Yes? What line item?
okay? 511,700.
Okay.
We have 1,500. What kind of miscellaneous stuff is under legislative? I just don't want to end up that being used for travel, because they can use anything within that particular budget section.
Do you have an example, Deanna? I mean, I'm entrusting that.
Without expanding to see what it is on QuickBooks, I don't know what was spent on, but no one's traveling, I can assure you that, Lori.
Can you
But do you-
reduce
do
that
you-
miscellaneous to zero, and then we can amend the budget if we have some miscellaneous
Yes, we
item over
can.
there? Just,
Yes,
that's
please.
$1,500 can be reduced. It's zero. What else, Lori?
So we scratching that out? Yeah.
Yes. We can amend the budget if
Um,
something comes up that's miscellaneous, that
Yeah.
needs to be
O-
defined as miscellaneous.
Overtime, I sent Deanna a flexible,
Mm-hmm.
possible flexible scheduling, and that would alleviate overtime, call out, on call, everything. And that can happen. So I'd really like to see if Deanna would look at that seriously.
Okay.
Because we're talking about 3,400, and then somewhere else it's 27, something like that, and we haven't even got to the water yet.
Okay.
So, if, again, flexible scheduling. We have been preaching and preaching and asking for years, and there's no sense in using overtime when we can use the flexible scheduling,
Okay.
okay? Okay. Are we ever gonna get the water fixed in the cemetery?
No, not this budget
Okay.
year.
Okay, that makes
I'm
sense.
sorry. It's not.
No, I
It's
understand.
It's not a budgeted
Sure.
maintenance expense, it's when we're lean and mean.
So then, is that gonna be crossed down to 2,500 for cemetery water?
I believe he already took it out.
Yeah, he took that
Oh,
to
okay, he
zero
already
because
did
he
that.
didn't know
Okay.
that we had cut the
Okay.
water off at the
Yeah,
cemetery.
right, okay. That's it, thank you very much.
Thank you for all your input, Lori. Ma'am, you've been very patient this evening. Do you have any input, or you're just watching the circus? Okay. You're very patient. Thank you for your participation. All right. Anything else from the dais before we adjourn this workshop? Thank you all very much. This meeting is adjourned, this workshop. Thank you for everyone's input. Thank you, Deanna.